sorry. We are very sorry to betray you. Nowhere we can go after we betray you. It's supposed to you. So we beg you to where you are right now. We look at what tears. Sorry, we beg you. This place, for those of you who know, Chief Coach came here before. We should not be there. When the township commissioner, they came here to march to the place.
I'm gonna make your money for you. I'm gonna make your money for you. No, really. I got nowhere to go. People are poor and sleeping on. We're gonna go and go there for so. We're gonna go there. Let's go there and rescue my hair. I got nowhere to go. I'm passing on one boat. But I need to know also. You can rescue for that for tea. You say we are not going to do for that one.
This is it.
Labor loans go to IB Bank. I borrow money more than 5 times because I want to make sure I have something in my account that I can live by.
You don't get nowhere to stay. When I check, you can figure out. You don't get nowhere to go. I don't want to stay. People want to meet you. What can I rescue? What can I rescue? What can I take care of people? Houses are burning. They make you a homeless. What can I come out for?
You think Joseph Walker will use my hand to be corrupt? The corruption he into, he will not use my hand to be corrupt. And watch the process and see. The process has started. If the police refuse to save for the people, then that means there's no police. Police say for me, I will not come. And if they make attempt to come for me, they can't handle my case. I'll be fighting to take one vote from one of them. What's supposed to start will start.
This country is the rule of law.
Oh, I can't want people the police. You see the rule of law, right? Follow the law, right? Let them not respect me and go through my case. That big man you see, Rachel Kune doing so, they may want to World Trade Center. We will know Joseph Walker Massa who went to World Trade Center. So watch the process and see.
So when you put me at the helm of Liberia, then people start saying, look at the story of Liberia, like people talking Rwanda today. But right now, don't lift your hope too high. Things will get nasty. Things will get dirty because nothing's going to change. Even if you made Jesus Christ Minister of Finance, nothing can change. Nothing will change because the expense is looking you in the face. You have to fund everything.
Whatever what it is, they are poor people. You can't come here and begin to rain terror on them. You use yellow machine to chase the people out of this place. We are having consultation with them tomorrow. If you come here, they will use what we call human shield to protect themselves. They will be asked to protect themselves. Since you think that you want to make them vulnerable, so come and use gun to shoot them.
Thank you.
It will be easier because it's better to die with honor than to live with shame. What do you have to go? And look at your children. They want to put you on the street. So it's preferable tomorrow morning, let Mr. Boycott ensure that the ERU can come and shoot you on sight. It's better you go home and rest. And become a spectator to your own shame. We think it is not the right thing to do. No law in this country should allow you to create. This is to creating genocide. Look at the whole place and you say one family own it. And in fact, you are becoming very target, you are becoming targetful.
The president vetoed the agreement and said there were plenty of loopholes in the agreement, and he's sending it back to us to correct it. That says that President Weah was senator for 3 years or so, and he know anything about the legislation. That's how grossly and incompetent this gentleman has been, and thankfully we're rescuing the country already.
Labor loans go to IB Bank. I borrow money more than 5 times because I want to make sure I have something in my account that I can live by.
I'm very kind to Joseph Walker. Every time he needs something from me, I give it to him. When he's not feeling well, he call me, I'm there for him. Yes, I don't trust him, but I help him.
Am I here? Am I pleasure? I'm just aware because as it stands, I don't know what to do. Even though there's not my own property I was renting, but I've already paid my rent. What can I do? What can I do? So they allow us to put our things out. Those are my things out there. For me, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. You can't come to me. I was just about to go to work this morning. You brought it from the court. You said I should get out.
So that's the course of vision?
Yes. from Supreme Court. From the Supreme Court, I would not call this prior notice. You brought this money and you said, I'm going to leave the place. And right away, the yellow machine came and started bringing the place down. So it's unfortunate. That's how I can say it's very unfortunate.
You don't get nowhere to stay. You don't get nowhere to go. I don't go to stay. People want them. What can I rescue? What can I rescue? What can I take care of people? What can I burning? They make you a homeless. What can I come out for? What can I do that to go? Now I want to see this. What can we beg you to rescue?
The owner is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, then I could be doing a job for you. Can he go everywhere? When we win, then I could be doing a job for you. Can he go everywhere? No. They old. He take Kun is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, then I could be doing a job for you as president. The owner is old. He take to produce vice president. Our prayer. When you turn to the man, the owner is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, then I could be doing a job for you. Can he go everywhere? No. The owner is old.
The first 100 days, we have said it over and again. We know the cost of living in this country and even health problems that are associated with the messy road conditions. We want to improve that immediately so that we can prepare for their construction. We want to thank them, President Buya, for conceding, and want to assure them that we are all Liberians. What we want is a peaceful Liberia. Our move will be to reconcile the society, to make sure that we all get on board to build our country.
So when you put me at the helm of Liberia, then people start saying, look at the story of Liberia, like people talking Rwanda today. But right now, don't lift your hope too high. Things will get nasty. Things will get dirty because nothing's going to change. Even if you made Jesus Christ Minister of Finance, nothing can change. Nothing will change because the expense is looking you in the face. You have to fund everything.
Timadoma is my cousin. I was born in Nimakante.
You got birth certificate?
I come in now. Reverend, take time. Reverend, you divorce your wife 2 times. You divorce a 2-wife woman.
You say you a lie? I only been married twice. I was divorced twice. You know jack about me. You don't want to say you will divorce your wife and she vote for CDC. Don't play with me. You don't know jack about me. You don't know me.
Training of 10,000 people, young people in IT in 6 months by President Buya, we think is a joke. Clearly, it's not realizable. Training in IT, you don't, first thing first, 10,000 people. Where are you going to gather them in the first place to train it? Let's assume you're not going to gather them to train it. Let's assume you're going to stay to your houses to be trained. So that means government is saying it's going to have constant electricity, it's going to have internet availability, or it's going to provide solar to the beneficiaries. That make that program extremely expensive. And then you can't train anybody in IT in 6 months. What we need to do is to establish STEM education in our existing schools that already have brick and mortar, that already have students sitting in the school, right? Where teachers are, we need to reposition our educational infrastructure because we have all of the information. USAID has done it for us. Many other institutions have. So we know the teacher deficit. We know all of these things. So clearly,
Don't trouble nothing too much.
That is...
1, 2, 3, I'm loving you. 4, 5, 6, I'm missing you. 7, 8, 9, I want you back. 1, 2, 3, I love you. 4, 5, 6, I'm missing you. 7, 8, 9, I want you back.
Here in my again.
Long time no see. Out your love, I'm lonely. I miss you. And it's too hard to bear. What have you done to me? I'm waking up in the middle of the night without you. And it's so unfair. I toss
and indeed, we're back again.
you.
What a great working Monday God has given us. And the privilege, the opportunity given to you and I
Awake.
to have it understood and accept the fact that The work of God is beyond the imagination of you and I. That is the reason why he healed himself. And before we see him, we got to seek. And in the process of seeking, we got to be righteous. Being righteous enough gives you the audacity to see the workings of your God. So in the voice of Liberia, bit and pieces, we on this afternoon, we say good afternoon to all of you. Welcome those of you far and near. Your regular afternoon show every time on Voice of Liberia from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
I have no appetite, my food has no taste.
Those of you who got the opportunity just to spark with us on today, we say good afternoon as well and welcome.
Of you and me.
And many of you who regularly follow, we say again we're back. It is a regular and normal routine from 3 to 6 o'clock. So good afternoon to the people of Kakatama, Gibi County, the people there in Habel, people in Cement Notice, people in Cotton Tree, people in Wayalama, Gibi County, people in Beple Wong, Sopuya, people in Firestone, people in SRC. We say good afternoon, your radio. And those of you in Bankabon County, Swakoko, Batalala, Zienzu, Salala, Totota, Patawi, Sanoi, Bomb Mines. We say here we are again on to bring you a lot this afternoon. Life is a gift that has been given to you. It is in your hands to make the best of it. Dare try to believe that you are the real you and you can be what you want to be. Don't dare try faking yourself because you want to please others. Life filled with uncertainty. You never tell the circumstances leading to your downfall, but you always stand to realize your fault that caused your downfall. That's the reason why a wise man would take a chance to look back after living in a mysterious situation. So folks, bit and pieces, my name is Edwin Melvin Joas. Good afternoon to all of you. Those of you who have come on, we will go there shortly to bring you live the recognition or acknowledgement of those of you who have come on. Ramsey Singbit in Kakata as branch manager, we say thank you for the relay. Tonola Mangil in Banga, we say thank you for the relay. We are also on the television. You can watch us via the Facebook or the internet, whatever platform connecting to the internet, you can catch us via that aspect. Catch us also on the online radio, and we on the FM as well. 104.1 in Monrovia, 89.7 in Kakatama, Gibi County, and 90.7 in Bankabon County. So we say welcome. Let me see what I can bring you. What we have on the itinerary this afternoon. Representative Yaka Kaluba pledged support to opposition political party CDC as he is an opposition to Bwaka government. And on the flip side, EPS officers declare support to protect Representative Yaka Kaluba following Bakari to his home. And former City Mayor Jefferson Kochi accepted Yaka Kaluba expressed to bring the government to a heated political stand. And at 4 o'clock, we will play host to the Press Union of Liberia presidential candidate Julius Kanuba to provide us understanding on his side and stand in the upcoming election in August of next month.
And it's too hot.
And it's widely spread and knowing now that President Joe Biden announced withdrawal in the pending November election that shocked many supporters of the Democrat. So these plus many others, as we will be on and affording you the time to listen. are all on the itinerary this afternoon. My name is Edwin Melvin Juan. I say good afternoon to all of you and welcome. Before we go on to acknowledge people who have come on, let me tell you that the cash giveaway is on today. We are giving out 5,000 Liberian dollars. We have had some upgrading in the system. At first, every Monday we used to give 4,000, but we have had some upgrading in the system. So today, Monday, or every Monday, start of today, we will give out 5,000 Liberian dollars. So if you play with $100 LD, you win your 5,000. So once you play with your $100 LD, it gave you the chance to win your 5,000 LD. So it is another great opportunity to those of you who will pick it as a chance to try. So give it a try to win your 5,000 Liberian dollars as the Independence Day celebration draws closer. We all are doing the same thing to survive. So an opportunity created for you to play and stand a chance to win the cash giveaway. So all you do for us this afternoon is you dial star 799 hatch, you OK and select number 8 voice of Liberia, play with $100 Liberian dollars or the 70 cent and win yourself 5,000 Liberian dollars. Again, you dial star 799 hatch, you OK and select number 8 voice of Liberia, play with $100 Liberian dollars and stand a chance to win yourself 5,000 Liberian dollars. Imagine you play with $100, you win 5,000 Liberian dollars. So you're going to have like 4,000. You're going to have 4,900 profit. So as you play the cash giveaway, you win 4,900 profit. It is a very, very good opportunity for you to have the July 26th celebrated on a peaceful and a very joyous atmosphere. So keep the entry coming, as we'll get back to you to draw the winner, who the first person who has won the cash giveaway. And Secret will also be here with me today, giving us the understanding on the cash giveaway. At the same time, the entry will continue being going through. So keep it on star 799 hatch, OK, and select number 8 voice of Liberia. Play with $100 Liberian dollars and win 5,000 Liberian dollars. Let's move on to acknowledge those of you who have come on. Dati Tokwa writes and said, watching from Omega Market CDC project. Thank you, Dati. Ruben Cannon. Ruben said, I'm following you from Gardnersville. Moses Lake, watching from Kakata, Majibi County. And Lasana Fanta Kroma, I'm following from the office of the National Reform Youth of Liberia. Thank you, Lasana, for coming on. Marcus Jide, good afternoon, VOL family. I'm watching from Sofin Community, Pakoya, Congo Town. Okay, it's people choice. You say, good afternoon, my VOL family. I am following live from my New Georgia Carwell resident and CDC sources Keita for life. He said, good afternoon, VOL from Duporo. Okay, Stephen Numa Yonko. He said, I'm watching from Bon County, District 7, Lower Bon County, District 7, Liberia. Okay, Solomon Kwabin, watching live from Oro, Divine Town. And Fatou Shari, thanks you for the good work. Nathan M. Blair, good evening. Following you from Barcelona, Spain. Yeah, that's my club thing, man. So when you're in that city, yeah. Nathan M. Blair. Thank you, Nathan, for being in Barcelona. And I hope you are cheering FC Barcelona as well. Emmanuel Dimalia Yanfikpe. Wow, you got a very hard name. So watching from Minnesota, USA. Thank you, Emmanuel, for coming on. Andrew K. Blackie, I'm watching from 10th Street Single, Morovia this afternoon. Thank you, Andrew. And Albert M. Home. Albert M. Home, he say, I'm following from India. Thank you, Albert. Then we got Haribo Johnson, following from Cowell at my little wine flower resident. Thank you, Haribo. So this is how we're going to be doing it up to the hour. We want to move quickly to the first talking point. And we're going to be doing it up to 4 o'clock. And our guests will come on. Representative Yaka Koluba pledged support to opposition political party CDC as he is or considered as an opposition to President Joseph Boakai government. Yaka being one of the frontliners, one of the key officials that brought this unity party government to power, trying to distance himself from the leadership of the unity party as they have been afforded to serve for the next 6 years in Liberia. Representative Yaka Koluban will express serious disappointment in the police IG and claim that the president knows something about what happened at his residence last night. Representative Yaka Koluba said unknowing people burst into where he called his brigade, because it's an area where initially he will host, everybody or all of his key political friends that they all had the rally together to support Boakai, the Dillon, the Mo Ali, and the rest of the crew. He said they all went to the brigade. So today, Yaka Koluba brigade, as you will call it, was being burst into by unknown people. But he will give his position on the issue as if it is not unknown, but certain group of people are the reason or the brain behind the entire saga. And if you will go to the understanding about what happened to Yaka Koluba brigade, it would interest you to know that people are after Yaka Koluba's life. And once it's been understood and observed and accepted that people are against Yaka Koluba's life, and trust me, Yaka being vocal on the government, there are too many things we are sensing that will happen in this regime. The very first one is about this Yaka issue. People who seem to be critical on government, we saw it in past administration. We don't just want to do it like it appears as a strange thing on a leadership in Liberia. Under former President George Weah regime, the Auditor General who died or who was being killed, the investigation just went that way, and later on the result was that he was intoxicated or got drunk, they died on the car, or he fell from all steps. They just brought all kinds of distracted and disjointed report. Then under this administration, the people will go after Yaka, despite Yaka was not present or they didn't see him, as apparently they might have had an intention that if they meet him there, something different will have happened. Who knows as to whether Yaka is prepared to face those people or Yaka is not prepared. So if Yaka isn't prepared and those people met with Yaka, now we're discussing different things, maybe something bad they have done to Yaka, or if Yaka is prepared enough to go and face or battle the guys who came, this would have been a different thing as well, because trust me, the bravery of Yaka is not a free bravery. Yaka being brave is not free, and I want to say it's not also normal. If Yaka is brave and his bravery is free and normal, then something wrong somewhere. A normal human being will not be brave enough like Yaka residing in the same country with the president, where you got a security protocol being controlled by the government, and you continue to say all kinds of awful things about the government, especially going personal to the president. You will call the president all kinds of names, and you will consider the president as the brain behind people hunting you. You will term it to be the president is the one paying people to go after your life. And it tends to be, if Yeke is a free and normal human being, something went somewhere. A normal person will not be brave like how Yeke can engage the government, talk to the government like how he talks to the government, depending on nothing. But only maybe because people will say he fought war. Yeah, fine, we agree. Yeke himself admitted. But we have all graduated from that stage and have reconsolidated. So at the stage now, we are in the democratic period where everyone will have to reconcile and put away the past. In how much the mind has been worked on, we are now fast-tracking ideas how to improve the democratic process of our country. So Yeke continued to engage the president the way he feels and the way he thinks they are against or hunting him. Anyone could feel the same, right? So the former EPS officers who I consider to have been illegally dismissed or released from their post have pledged or declared their support to Representative Yeke Koruba, that they will protect him, and it's going to be on a volunteer basis. Yeke will not pay them. So they have come up that, imagine this is going off hand. The government will have to do something. If not, things will happen and people will start to regret. Let me inform you. The EPS officers who were illegally, who contracts were illegally terminated, they already got grudge against or for the government. So if they will pledge or commit themselves to protect Representative Yeke Koruba, the day any group or whoever will turn themselves or mistakenly think they can go after Yeke, it would plunge into different things. Because these guys are trained and reserved. So they think Yeke depending on to talk or blast the government at anyhow, the guys will also be supported by that thing Yeke depending on. So for me, I'm not saying Yeke depending on a particular thing, but I'm thinking Yeke depending on something. A free or a normal man will not be blasting the government the way Yeke blasting, giving the understanding that the government has the authority over the security protocol of the country. I'm not also saying that in and much they got the control on the security protocol, they can go after anybody's life. No, it's not fine, it's not right, but Yeke needs to be careful on how he goes about engaging the government. Anybody can get emotional when you will be targeted by somebody, especially someone who you think will have escorted you to a certain level, and the person seems to be backing off from your support. Is what happened between the president and Yeke. Yeke has opted that the government will have gone the way he wanted it to be. But now this is one thing too. Yeke should also understand that President Bouaka, the then time when he was a candidate, the way they used to do things and control him isn't the way now he is to serve the nation. Bouaka now is a president. He was a candidate by then. You could just take phone and call him. He will pick your call. President, the then candidate Joe Bouaka could drive from your house at any time or any part of the night, maybe just have one or two security to come to Yeke place and they sit and lecture. The then candidate Joe Bouaka could call Yeke anywhere at any time. They will meet to talk. But right now, Yeke don't expect the president or should not be expecting the president to move with him the way they used to move when he was a candidate as well. So let's understand the diplomacy in the presidency, right? We agree that Yeke is pushing and pleading on behalf of his people. That means the people who are around the president associates, should not be influencing the president's decision, should not be telling the president to kick back people who supported him wholeheartedly, or people who, because of them, they supported him as a president. So Yeke now is feeling disappointed in the president's decision, especially leaving some of them out who were deeply involved into his campaign process. So Yeke, being one of the frontliners, is being packed aside. Senator Amara Kone, who was one of the frontliners as well, is being packed aside despite their professional thinking and engagement and involvement and occupation in the government as a lawmaker, giving them the small understanding that they are servicing and people hearing about them. Having it being elected as a government official, their case could be like Brennan Samuka or the Kapina Jana that people heard about, and people campaigning, especially the Muslim community. The Muslim community went in solidarity with the Kapina Jana issue, where they felt offended and intimidated by the former administration of George Weah, that they wrongfully dismissed Kapina Jana from the Supreme Court. So ECOWAS demanded that they should reinstate Kapina or they pay him off. So the Muslim community, the Muslim community is very united. So it's obvious that some will go the other way around, but when majority say they're going this way, everybody can go that way, especially when you are influential and potential. When they see the potential say in you, they can follow you. So Kabila Jana then solidarity was the one that brought President Bouaka to the stage. Kabila Jana, you can't hear about him. They issue ECOWAS rule the case, that they rule the case in favor of Kabila Jana. Up to now, the government has not spoken about Kabila Jana issue, whether they will reinstate him or the government will pay him up. We yet to understand. The Brennan Samuka that honor former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf makes appropriated the forms of the AFL. They asked him to bring back that money. He was paying it small, and he was to go to jail. Former President Weah came in that issue, and they had arrested. Now, because of that, Brennan Samuka also supported President Joe Bouaka. Now, these people, you don't hear about them because they are not close associated with the president. Now, the reason why you hear about Amara, you hear about Yeke is because they are legislature. So the people now, you see them bouncing in the government like Yeke will always emphasize on are Buju Ben Keita, the Yombly Lawrence, the Dillon, the Prince Moy. So if you try to understand how they are also proceeding and recommending to the president through his appointment or by their wish, it goes contrary to the mantra that they campaign on. The mantra the campaign was in the interest of the masses. So if they will come on and you got very few associates of the president going on the contrary of the campaign messages or promises they gave the people, it causing the serious disappointment of Representative Yeke Koluba in the whole saga. But after the people burst into Yeke Koluba's home, they made away with several other properties. It will interest you to know that people in this country, some of them will be trusted and some will not be trusted. If you would attempt it to be the way you will see it, well, that's it. But we think the government is there to protect lives and property. The government should be able to protect everybody in the country. Yeke is no exception of people to be protected in the country. So the former city mayor, Jefferson Koji, went there with his team and they escorted him. Team of journalists went there and they had their say. Jefferson Koji pledged as well to support Representative Yeke Koluba after Yeke agreed to support, and he is an opposition that Anything the CDC doing, he will be fully involved. Once they invite him or they ask him to come over, he will be a part of the activities. But let's get Kochi part of the whole episode so we can understand some of the things that happened today.
Who clean, who have invested into the beast. This is a awakening call. It is a awakening call. They need to be informed. Let nobody deceive you yet. These people are pushing 14. You bluffing. You are joking with the peace of this country. Stop. When we sneeze here, you will catch fresh cold. Stop.
Come on.
Stop what you're doing. Stop provoking. We think it is about time to solve the Liberian people issue. If you say, Mr. We have failed to do that, and Johnson Koji did not do, you must be solving the issue of food. You must be solving the issue of security. You must be solving the issue of salary increment. You must be providing safety for the people. Today, there are more armed robbers attacking. The simple thing government can do is service deliverable. Our people go to bed early at 6 o'clock. They are fighting to move in the community because no one can guarantee their safety. No one can assure them. People are being attacked like rain is falling on roofs. This is not the Liberia. We want to assure you that we can protect. It's not a good thing when we begin to give people instruction to protect themselves. They're capable of doing that. But because you're being paid to protect us, because you take salary to solve our issue, it's not a favor you're doing for us. You must be responsible enough to be condescending during that. We are going to, the fact you see where you know, like we are going to sit here, we are going to have conversation with Yeke. He has said a lot to us. He's been calling. I've been telling Yeke, wait, the moment we come, it's been a long time. Yeke, don't worry. Because I know these people. I know they accidentally came here unlicensed. They deceived the Liberian people. They have no spans of sincerity. We're not saying to you that everything was perfect during our regime. No, during our governance. We're not going to say to you, well, there are some excesses that were done by us, but we human people. But people took advantage of that. Today, the government is basing itself on imposing suffering, dismissing people, and you're not asking no question how these people will survive. They are Liberians. And when we all learn, this government have dismissed more Liberians than any other government. They are targeting people. They go to you. And the worst thing is, Mr. Braga has demonstrated a gross sense insensitivity. And the funny thing about him is, people who stood up for him, he doesn't pay. My own sister I'm not speaking to, so stand on to clarify that. So Yakepa, he's seeking for Yake head. He's fasting and he want to injure him so desperately. And I was coming, so a lot of people disagree, even some citizens. Oh, LG, don't go. LG, where you come to Yake for? No, you don't understand. It's not about Yake. We did that for Costa before. When Costa were against us, there were people they arrested under Ellen Johnson who disagree with us. But we stood with them. It was not them. Because if we begin to serve as spectator, if Yake get harmed, then no one will be safe. Then the citizens here become vulnerable. So for that, I don't see Yeke. I see Yeke as a victim. Yeke was being misled, he was being deceived. And because of such thing, I'm grateful that he is a conscious person who have gained his consciousness, who have quickly soberly reflected and refused to be misused and abused. And he decided to take a definitive position. And you come here, we asking him to tell us, we want to know the exact amount of people that are not here, where they are whereabouts. Gregory need to tell us sooner, or we as an institution will find them. When you place them, we ask a simple question. We go to the police station and ask a simple question to turn them over.
The position of Jefferson Koji, the former city mayor of Monrovia City, they did the same thing for Herman Costa when he was heavily criticizing the government under former President George Weah. They provided the coverage and the dialogue so that they could go the way the masses, will be treated, either by the lawless way or in the interest, whatever way wrong. So they are doing similar today for Yeket Koluba after they have observed the burglary or the illegal entry of unknown people in Yeket's home. So the biggest opposition political party, CDC, is in solidarity with Yeke Kaluba or in sympathy with Yeke Kaluba for the many things he lost. They also took away motorbikes as I informed. They took away some properties. So the act might be described as armed robbery because people went there with gun and they shout, the remaining rounds or the empty share of the rounds were all captured. You go on the internet right now, you will see everything being posted by Yeke TV, and people got their own say and understanding about the entire situation. But they get the security aspect about this one. So all along, Yeke has blasted the government. He has always been peaceful because if Yeke would have had, you know, uh, armed security at his residence, the thing that happened there this morning could not happen because, or last night could not happen because they would have exchanged fire. So if people with armed enter Yeke's home and they open fire, Yeke private security ran away because no job worth dying for, man. So the security will have to escape. They escape and they took away some things. The empty shed of the round was being picked up. And in the photo, you will see Yeke sitting with the empty rounds or shares of the bullet. So Yeke security ran away. And it's obvious that if you don't have the capacity to exchange, if you get the means to escape, you escape and come back and give the story. So they say that the scary bull can show brave bull grave. So the security escaped and they came back to get the story. So we continue following it and we'll get the story. Now, the former EPS officers headed by Godfrey, is it Godfrey Scott? They have pledged their support to protect Representative Yeke Koluba. And if they will pledge to support Representative Yeke Koluba, like we saw them the other time when Sekou hosted them later on, because they said they were in possession of their weapons. So after hosting them, they said they were marching to the Capitol building when they were being heavily blocked by the the PSU officers on Capitol Hill, and they were being dragged to Central. Later on, they were being stripped naked as some of them call on the bit and pieces. And I personally interviewed the person. They said they were being naked in the cell. They stripped them butt naked after they were being arrested by the PSU officers. So now they have recalibrated and coming back to give up their service or services to Yeke Koluba as security guys. This going to turn into a different thing on grounds that the day a group of just think about going after Yeke, it will plunge into different things because these guys have served as former EPS officers. They protected former President George Weah. They went on the training and they graduated. So they got all of the security, technical know-hows and stuff. So if somebody would tempt and they are providing service or services for Yeke and somebody attempt to go after Yeke, it will plunge into different things. But we are scared that the government will have to come in to calm down this situation. But I get their part, yeah?
Godfred Weah, the spokesperson for the illegal terminated EPS officers. We are here today in solidarity with our honorable lawmaker because we believe that no one is above the law. Injustice, anywhere is injustice, everywhere. Those oppressors cannot keep oppressing our people, and we sit and watch them. We say no to oppression, and it is getting to a time where we will not accept it. We are here in solidarity with our honorable man because we believe that it is wrong. If it happened to him today, it can happen to anybody. Because tomorrow, they will start witch hunting us. And we want to say no to this witch hunt. We are tired with witch hunt. We don't want people witch hunting our officials. We are all citizens of this country. We came here today in our unit. We came here today in our unit as an illegal terminated EPS officers. We want to state this very clear, that we will not sit back and watch our people being oppressed. We will not sit and watch our peaceful citizens being oppressed. We will stand by. We are in support of Honorable Yaga Koluba, and we can assure him our strongest support. We will support him because he's there for the people. He's a lawmaker for the ordinary people. He's not for a special group of people. From the time we start knowing Honorable Yaga Koluba, he speaks for the people. So when we heard this news this morning, we as a body, as a unit from our group, we decided to come here today to be in sympathy with him because we believe that his life was threatened by those oppressors. So we don't want to sit and watch our lawmaker be oppressed. Not even him, any other lawmaker for that matter, for the fact that they are citizens of this country, and we are also custodians of society. We will protect our society against any oppressor. Thank you very much.
Okay, so anyone who will oppress their leader, they will go after the president, or they hate the oppressor. So you heard him for yourself. Now, Representative Yaka Koluban by himself went in to respond to the guy's visit.
Let me say a big thank you to the biggest opposition party in the country, the CDC, for making their presence felt. I believe in my mind, we will work together as opposition. What happened in the past is in the past. We are moving forward to ensure that things that we said were wrong yesterday will become right today. Because we criticize, we went around, our all around. You wasn't putting that killer. Somehow will call it a role, but today, our own is still a clear. Our own in a face that we don't have to look for evidence for. Up to now, the information they gave us cannot be proven by us. I'm not saying it because they are here. I'm saying it because that's the reality. Because we are not showing the evidence to the Liberian people that somehow we look at a role. Somehow to a role. We are in control of the foreign ministry now. So where is the evidence on Samuel 12? But in my mind, we wanted to say those things so we can take them from power and come and sit down there so we can steal the same way. Right. And we are resolved. We are resolved to steal in our government. We brought the government.
Do you regret what happened?
I don't regret. They will regret. And we are on the process.
Things like you said again.
No, they will regret. They will have to bring the evidence because we own the foreign ministry now, right? Fine, Bwaga own the foreign ministry, we in control. So those stealing our documents need to come to the public. What are we waiting for? Yesterday we said the impeachment of Cabinet General wrong by the past government. We stood up. Today, Joseph Bwaga will be out and say, oh, you're wrong, you are impeached legally. The ECOWAS code rule that he must be reinstated or be paid off. Had that been done? Under the embarrassment, the disgrace that I use my resources and my family money to bring to power, but we're not sitting there alive happy. I don't play DC or anything. I resolve. I'm in the opposition. If you got any activities anywhere, call me. I will be there. Thank you. Do not listen to people. Yeah, yesterday I said I'm going to tell about you. Yesterday I said everything. Yeah, my own brother Foko here. If I pay around my sister, I don't get food. I go to her. Any food that I can eat it because I believe.
Okay, Representative Yaka Koluban giving his position on the talking and happenings at his residence today after the guys from the CDC went to have a talk with him and get his understanding and side of the issue. So the government is on an obligation to provide security for all Liberians, and if one person will feel threatened, it means the close associate of that person will be threatened as well. So Representative Yeke Caliban, if he will be threatened, it means his close associate will also be threatened, and that's something we don't need in the country. So let's now move to the line and get your reaction. Let the government protect Yeke. If they will go after Yeke, trust me, it will go or turn into a different thing that we don't need in the country. Yeke, if Yeke is a free man, given his understanding position on issues in Liberia and how he go about engaging issue, trust me, it means something wrong somewhere. But I don't think Yeke is a free man. But if he is, well, he depending on something different that we would not understand. So let's move to the line and get to reaction this afternoon. Coming up next, the presidential candidate Julius Kanoban of Press Union of Liberia will come in and have his position here up to 5 o'clock. 0770-907-907, 0770-907-907. Anybody today you call and you buy a radio, I'll cut you off. Hello?
Hello?
I can continue with you. I'll take another person. I can continue with another person too. When I call you, you near your radio, I will not pick you. Honestly. 0770-907-907. Hello?
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you call from?
Okay, thank you, dear. My name is Oliver Owaza. I joined this time from Togotan community.
Let's hear you, Oliver.
Jet, I think it's very disgraceful that our state, our security apparatus are running behind critical forces in the country. It's not only the girl alone. We've been having reports that even on Thursday before Jordan, in the country, another citizen was being around by the police. And God be God, the post that he did before arresting, before saving. So it became me alarming, and Mr. Baka has to take control over the government. You have people in the government, I can't put it blame Mr. Baka because every day he's sleeping. You have to wake up, Mr. Baka.
Okay.
You have to wake up.
Thank you. You made your point.
Safety of the government. Thank you.
Okay. Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you live. Your name and where you call from?
My name is Analytical Jamil, and I join you from Habel.
Yeah, let's hear you, Jamil.
Thank you for the explanatory this afternoon. But my take is that if the President Joseph Numa Baka is the one that is sending people behind Yeke Koruba, because we have seen it over many times, all right? The kind of errors he has made and continues to make. I urge you that he needs to stop. Because if not so, Yeke will not, give up with him. I listened to you this morning, and Yeke is fully, occupied with a lot of people. So some of us, we are still standing by to support him because of the misleading step that he continued to take as president.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. You made your point. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you live. Let's hear you. Your name and where you call from?
Yeah, I'm Ben calling from Riyadh. Thank you for the topic on our discussion, Bro Joa. Hello?
Yeah, you live. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my man. The situation that in the country here, we very hard to pray. It's very cheap, the kind of behavior the people carry on. We have to pray and let the woman to wake up. Because by you running behind somebody because of making statement or because of talking against the government is very challenging. So the government got to be serious. The last time he was on the radio talking about somebody that just posted something about Bwaka and he was chased. They are not going to send out there. They are going to kill him. So maybe that will come. They will start running after people. So we have to be careful. Let the government think about JFK. Let the government think about Redemption Hospital. Let the government think about development.
Thank you. You made your point. Hello? 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 Hello?
Good afternoon, Mr. Andrew. How do you do?
This is not Andrew, this is Joan.
Oh, Mr. Joa.
Yeah,
Good
let's.
afternoon. How do you do?
Hello, your name and where you come from?
Yeah, my name is James Bade, and I'm the chairman of the Veteran Assembly, District 16, Nikru Town.
Just say James.
Yeah, Mr. Joa, there's a saying that say, people that have the military background, they say, to every force there is equal and opposite reaction. You understand? This government under Joe Bwaka needs to be careful. You understand? They are leading the country to a disaster. Did you hear the spokesman of the former EPS and the other people on the other side? The disenchanted people that you dance at? What are we going? If you are not careful, you can be the very person to spoil your own government. Joseph Bwaka, the international community, EU, the American embassy, ECOWAS, and everybody looking up to you as president to uphold the peace like the former president did, George Weah. Who never insulted George Weah in this country? People can insult him. For the radio station, when they come down, you will not see air police in front of their car and they will go free. Because why? You want to maintain peace, and this is the peace that we're all enjoying today. You see what's going on? Hunting people overnight because they made posts and they talk about president whatsoever. You pick them up, made them with car without letting play, put them on the bike on the car, carry them around, touch them, and allow drop them down by the roadside. It is not good for our government. More especially why we are on a democracy. Bwaka should be able to exercise restraint and accept whatsoever that will come, whether criticism or whatsoever. And it should be focused on keeping promises. Why you promise the Liberia people? It should be focused on learn what you should do. Instead of hunting people here because they want you whatsoever. Who knows? Security separate. Whether who are going to the hacker place, whether he's not the one that said there, or whether they have no connection with the police, who knows? It's because you are not careful, anything happens, that your name will go. Bwaka need to be careful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You made your point. Hello? We can continue with you. I said, soon as you call and I get that feedback, I will cut you off. Hello? Yeah, your name and where you come from?
My name is Peter S. Slomo, and I represent Jehovah Community, District number 4, So Clinic.
Yeah, let's hear you.
You see, wrong is wrong, no matter who's at the receiving end of a wrongdoing. And again, when you raise a snake is not a pet. But when you raise a snake, you don't raise it a joke. You can play, you can bite. When you're not tolerant, do not encourage all sexuality. Why uncle want to kill nephew today? When nephew was singing, Joey Amuya Coco Ball, that Bwaka said that then he was nephew, right? But now when nephew began critical, then uncle was saying, Kuba Bande over man. And then you prepared, they ain't buy more bullet because you were a double of us and do a lot of secret killing. It's down there on Jagan. We are planning our critical and watching the government. Whether we're lawmakers to come back, so we can start under pressure. There are a lot of undone things that we wanted to be unraveled, and it will be unraveled.
Thank
so
you.
If you want to be adopted and killing, you can marry nephew or uncle. Say my uncle to kill your nephew, yeah? Who come in?
Hello? Yeah, let me where you come from.
I'm up. It's more quite Johnsonville.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Man, this will be all finished. I was on a cool up soup. What's the eating? So we just look at it. The two I found today, they don't cool up soup. I open it down.
Okay.
So that's the best thing to discuss. That's for Jagera and Jolo.
Okay, thank you. Hello? Hello?
Joanne. Yeah, good afternoon, Joanne.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Hussein. I'm Hussein Kew. I want to appreciate you for the conversation. Joanne, like I would normally call
and have my own say on your topic on the discussion. I listen to many of the callers trying to be insulted and abusing the presidency. But there are times we have our own differences. There are times we have our own dissatisfactions and disenchantment. But I don't think it will reach to an extent that you will have to insult the presidency of our country.
So who is insulting the presidency?
I listen to two of the callers. Two of the callers try to
Hussein, you have not come to respond to callers, but rather has come to contribute to what we are discussing, Hussein.
Okay, thank you. Right.
Yeah, so go to what we are discussing, yeah? The callers, they are entitled to their opinion. You got nothing to do with them.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay, Osin left the line. Osin, you regulating anything here, Osin? What you feel you can talk is why you call to talk. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, your name and where you call from?
I'm Zakoba. I'm calling you from Rafi Highway.
Yeah, Suba, let's hear you.
Yeah, you see, that'd be fine. This thing is just a misunderstanding by some people. But it is not working. Some people just want to spoil the government. But I tell them that if they try again, Liberia would be like Kenya.
So you want Liberia to be like Kenya? So you want Liberia to be like Kenya?
If they try again, I think our cabinet will be dissolved. New government will be, the president will form new cabinet.
Okay, thank you. You made your point. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, your name and where you call from?
This is Miles from Johnsonville.
Yeah, let's say you, Miles.
Yeah, you see, that's why we tell people about the respect of a leader or a leadership. Joseph Walker, he even want to unite people like Henry Costa, people like Alexander Kumi, people like Ben Ayue. He was vice president and also a leader of the party, and then he failed to unite these people. And he knew that he could in the constant position of even abusing judge we are in the presidency. So now he's still wasting lawmaker. He's just trying to test a fire that he cannot do. And that should be a clear complaint in his leadership. All around Cinco, on the Capitol building, all over to the ministerial complex. You get a lot of police on the road. You get called back. For what? He was there in a same position. Opposition, you are supporting Yaga. If I say come out to the school, right?
So all the police on the road, is there for Yaga? Hello, all the police on the road there for Yaga?
Yeah?
All the police on the road are there for Yaga?
They are there for Yaga.
Why?
They are there for Yaga.
So then why they are not grabbing now since they're there for him and Yaki has passed there more than
time? Yeah, when I said they are there for him, maybe they are there for any or brutality or anybody.
Yeah, boy. Yeah. Violation of the law. Okay, thank you. You made a point. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, your name and where you call from?
Anthony Rooney, I call from Ghana.
Yes, yeah, you, Anthony.
I just want to send a message to our president. If it is not broken, if it is not broken, do not try to fix it. Yeah, because if you try to fix it, you won't hear me again. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello. Hello?
Yes.
Your name and where you call from?
Good afternoon, Melvin.
Yeah, let's hear you.
Peter David Castle from the Street Light. And thank you very much for the fascinating discussion. And also extend my appreciation to Devante Kochi and those that are former EPS guys who want to solidarity and also Honorable Jacob Koga. And I think this particular government needs to hold the tendency of the movement to live in the democratic society and the constitutions and the laws are here. Freedom of speech, freedom of movement, and it should be a guarantee for every individual. So you cannot want people because and a declared complete on a part of government. If those guys that went there, if they sat down for any other area, was sent from the of the government. It's happening. In my era, was
unkept. Now this particular government that because again just Waka.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what we're discussing. Hello?
Hello.
Your name and where you come
Yeah. Where on this farm.
Yeah, let's hear you, Ishmael.
I want to use this time to I got that move. Thing of talk is technicity. So you don't hear where and
So listen. So Yaka is a loose talker, right? What you mean? No, listen to me now. You can just work out and talk recklessly. You know what you're saying? Okay, so it means Yaka is a loose talker. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So that's all the time we will take for this segment of the call. Our guest is already in. Julius Kanuban is here already, and Charlotte will get to him. But before we get to him, we committed ourselves to giving out money to our winner, and we can generate two winners in row. Two winners in row. We can generate two winners in row. Those of you who have played the cash giveaway, so if you want to give it a try, we're coming to give out 10,000 to two person right now. So if you want to give it a try, keep the entry dial star 799 hash. Okay, and select number 8 voice of Liberia. Play with 100 Liberian dollars and win yourself 5,000 Liberian dollars. And once you win, we see your money directly. So you can hustle for the 26, right? Yeah. Those of you who got me, see, somebody finna get in there on the 27 mile. Let me call the person, yeah. While you're there wasting time and thinking, I say maybe somebody will send you money from America. Or somebody eat their own from right in Liberia, yeah. We bring America right down now for you who don't have people in America. Yeah, so they'll call our first lucky winner. Keep the entry coming. Star 799. Okay, select number 8 Liberia. Play with 100 Liberty and win 5,000 Liberian dollars. The first winner phone seems to be off. So the first winner number is off. Wow. And the good part of it is that we have transferred the 5,000 already to the person. So that person, when they pick the phone from charge and see the message, I think it will appear like the time the angel visited me. So that's it. Let me take another winner. Let me pick another winner. The more you play, the more you win. Yo. Yeah. Let me pick another winner of the 5,000. Yeah. You all who got the doubt about the money business, the other will be winning while we're calling them and they giving you a testimony that they are truly winning the money. Now we got another winner. So keep the entry coming, right? Dial star 799 hash. Okay, and select number 8 voice of Liberia. Play with 100 Liberian dollars or 70 cents and win yourself 5,000 Liberian dollars. And as you win, we send your money to your account. The other person from ranking and they are not picking. Okay, here we go. Hello?
Yeah, Joa, how you doing?
I'm fine. My name is Edwin. Already you call my name. So you play voice of Liberia cash, right?
Yeah, not too long.
How many you play?
I play.
One time. Go away from the radio.
Sorry, I'm going.
Okay. So you say you play one time, right?
Yeah.
Is this your first time playing the game or you've been playing?
No, I play. I listen to you. I can play sometime.
Okay. But have you been able to win too?
No. There is no first time.
First time ever. Okay, so you have won 5,000 every night.
Thank God so much.
Have you received it?
I do have to check. No, I was just sitting my phone. I have to check.
Yeah, but Android phone you got or a body phone?
The Android phone.
Yeah, but then just slide from the up of the phone, and you will get the message from there.
Okay.
You got it?
I don't see you, but what you do? I will check it out.
Okay, I will call you back.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, so he has won the 5,000 Liberian dollars, and we will continue to call people who are playing, the money. Let's put 28. Yeah, okay. The person will receive the money. So let me see again what I could pick another one, and then we'll go to our guest. And when we go to the guest now, the guest will finish talking before we take another winner. So I want it to be where you want us to get you money and the time is not available. So let's see whether we can pick a winner. Then we go to our guest quickly. We have reached the threshold of picking another winner of the cash giveaway. So keep the entry coming. Play star 799 hatch. Okay, and select number 8 Voice of Liberia. Play with 100 Liberty or 70 cents and win 5,000 Liberian dollars. Now we pick another winner again. So this making it 15,000 now. Yeah, those of you who will be there thinking as to whether the process is fair, that will be making money near you and giving testimony. Yeah, yeah. So we call our third winner. The person is our third winner, making it 15,000. Imagine. Keep the entry, make the choice for yourself. Now star 799 hash. Okay, and select number 8 was Liberia. Play with $100 Liberty or 70 cents and win 20,000 Liberian dollars. Shortly, we talk about PUL election, the election that has long stayed. We will talk about the election as it's been planned or scheduled for August 24th. The other person phone ringing and no respond. Yeah, this is what I mean to people. They are calling you. You don't want to pick. Keep the entry coming. Star 799 hatch. Okay, and select number 8 was Liberia. Play $100 Liberty and win 5,000 Liberty. Yeah, let me go to our guest. Yeah. The person from of I don't know how true this one could be. So let's call back our winner and confirm that he received his money. Let's call back our winner. Okay, it's from his ring. Hello? You got it? So you can read the message for us?
No, I
Oh, okay. Yeah, so he has won himself 5,000 Liberty. And once you win the money, send it to your account directly. It's an automatic store. So keep the entry coming. That's star 799 hash okay and select number 8 was Liberia. Play with $100 Liberty and win yourself 5,000 Liberian dollars. Julius Canova, our guest. Let's move on to our guest and have some drinking discussion on the press union of Liberia. Good afternoon, Julius. How are you?
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure being in your midst. It's also a pleasure being in the midst of your uh, delegated audiences. It's good to be at your platform at this particular time. You asked how I am. Personally, I'm very good. but the Liberian media was hit very hard. Uh, Earlier this morning with the death of one of our colleagues,
Yeah.
Stephen Moli Kezulu, who until his death was working at FM, and would like to express our sympathy, our condolences to his family, media community of our country, his employer, and his former colleagues who knew him very good. It's a sad development when journalists or media professional, falls to the cold hands. Yes. Just on Saturday, we buried one of our colleagues, senior media practitioner, Chodo Brooks. So again, the media is bereaved. Our condolences again to his family and to the media community of our country. We pay tribute to him for the services rendered to journalism, media, and communication in our country. He was somebody who worked assiduously to public information dissemination and to analyzing the social, political, and economic developments within our country, taking into consideration the quest for good governance in terms of accountability, transparency, and responsibility in Liberia. So we pay tribute to him. I mean, if it were not for the show and the audience, I mean, I could not have come here because it's a moment, when a young man of his age, falls cold hands or death.
Okay.
So, our tribute to him.
Yeah, my sympathy as well. So, Julius Canova, people want to know who is Julius Canova. Just what about, yeah.
Well, I mean, in short, Julius is a Liberian, a journalist by profession, and been in the media since the early 2000s, starting on ELBC, where I work, trained to the different practices, journalism, both practical and theoretical, because I attended the LBS School of Journalism, and I worked at ELBC and worked for many media entities within the country, and both locally and internationally. I mean, one of the famous places I work was with the Independent in the Star Radio. Where many people got to know me, but prior to that, while at ELBC, I was the UN Affairs correspondent in the United Nations mission in Liberia, and also diplomatic and international organizations. I mean, diplomatic missions, international organizations. Then I serve as a correspondent for Radio Deutsche Welle. Deutsche Welle is Germany's international broadcaster. And so between there, I work for different newspapers in the country, Page Africa, the Monitor, the another medium, or media in the country. And then, educationally, I schooled at the University of Liberia, read economics, so to speak, and then went abroad for further education, where I studied in Germany for masters, South Africa for masters, then Sweden for masters. Yeah, so you can be able to do your own educational evaluation. But sometimes we don't like to start things because our society is such that people can lure and also lament you on the basis of your education, put you in certain classes that you don't belong to. As a human, I am a critical Democrat. I mean, politically, I don't belong to any political party or parties, but I do vote in elections because I am a citizen of a country we call Liberia that will be celebrating for independence 2 days from now. So I am a critical in terms of my orientation, both academically, socially, politically, and economically.
Julius Canova, who has practically spent 24 years now in the media, given the understanding, started since 2000 up to current.
2003 specific.
2003.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it
should be
19
years. In some months.
So Julius Canova is a candidate of the president. So what has Julius comes with?
Well, I've come with the experience experiences, the education, the credibility, integrity of our colleagues within the media community of our country. I did not mention in my introduction for myself because sometimes when your profile is so long, you don't want to emphasize everything. But itself, as an Assistant Secretary General of the Press in Liberia, where I serve under the astute and brilliant leadership of Peter Okoye and Melissa Anna, along with and Charles Coffin, the most immediate president of the press in Liberia. It's come with a deep sense of understanding of fundamental core principles of our PUL, the Press Union of Liberia. I've also come to work with a team to delivering what the union requires at this particular moment of history in the organization. Yes, so giving my own experiences, giving the experiences of people who we intend to work with to redeem, reform, and develop the PUL. We believe our vision for the union is the best in terms of advancing the professional integrity of the institution to make it better for journalism within our country, but to also help to govern the media of our society and to work in relation with the government and other social actors within society. And so we come with a deep sense of commitment and dedication to doing what is right to ensure that the press union remains a viable, robustly strong institution that will help develop our society. Because both politically and economically, Liberia is developing, as people normally argue. But the role of the media cannot be overly accentuated. So we believe that at this particular time, it is important to contribute our quota, like you ask, and being out of Liberia many different years, both in and outside Liberia, seeing many different things. And we believe that this is where we can make our contribution. And those contributions can be made collectively as an organization.
Julius Canova served as a former secretary of the press union of Liberia, giving him the experiences he had had with the several different leadership in the PUL, vying for the presidency. Different do the press in Liberia expect, from Julius Canova, given the understanding and the outside experience he had?
Well, we've been working within the media sector to understand some of the problems, challenges, the issues confronting the media landscape as an institution, but also human aspects of the media. The journalists, the everyday journalists, media practitioners, and communication professionals. So we've developed or drafted a 6-pillar agenda that focuses on 1, accountable leadership, 2, impartial advocacy, 3, the construction of the Press Union of Liberia headquarters, 4, we are looking at support for women journalism, media, and communication. The 5th, sustainable and inclusive media development. And the least, but not the last, is what we call the formation of media hubs in countries. And I can be able to elaborate all of these bigger pillars of our agenda. And the first one that has to do with accountable leadership. The press union is a social integrity institution helping to govern journalism in our country. The union per the constitution have to be accountable to the membership, but also to the larger society as a whole. Because the press union is a public interests-driven organization. So per the constitution, for example, the leadership will have to use what is called financial and narrative reports before entering into a contract with any organization in the country. It is the membership that must be in the know, prove source of contract enrichment. So what we've observed over the years, especially the most immediate past 6 years, the union has not been connected with its members in terms of accountability. And the saddest thing in terms of the paradox is that journalists, media and communication professionals are holding the larger society accountable but without holding themselves accountable to the institution. So we intend to make the press union more accountable. The issue of finances of the union, we have to be known by the membership. The contracts that we enter, we have to be known by the membership. But also the practice of journalism, we hold our colleagues accountable. And we expect that our colleagues who are practicing will also hold us accountable. For example, the issue of the membership register. If you check in the constitution, the union will have to produce a membership register each year, meaning that journalists, education and media professionals within our country, they must be able to register through the Press Union of Liberia. And the registration by paying your dues, we tend to hold you accountable for your dues or so, and you hold accountable as to how those dues are expended, right? So we intend to create a sort of accountability relationship. On the second point of impartial advocacy,
Before we move on to impartial, let's get the understanding of accountability.
Yeah, that's
so you talk about accountability. So your leadership should be accountable to whatever revenue the union will collect, right?
Yes,
Now,
that's
but then,
correct.
yeah, it is something that you stressed on that the previous leadership or the leadership of the Press Union of Liberia, we didn't see such experience, right? Now, it is burdened upon every leadership, especially your predecessor, will turn everything over to you as an incoming leadership. So if we
I
talk
you want
about
to ask about it.
yeah, so all it right. So given your doubting about the accountability of the leadership at the moment, so don't you think there was an audit conducted by the current leadership to the predecessor?
Yeah, we're of
If,
that.
if so, yeah, if you are not aware, but
The membership is not aware of any audit has been conducted at the Press Union. The last audit that was conducted, I think it was a system audit under the Peter Cookett leadership. I mean, not to my knowledge, any audit has been
how does audit be
So-
conducted in the UN?
So, I mean, audit is conducted when the audit is commissioned by, like you said, any incoming administrator or group of administrators that are taking over from another group that is party. Now, you have to know from the assets and abilities of the institution, of the positions that you are taking over.
So this drag the leadership of Daniel Yankun as the controversial president who won the controversial
No,
election that I
Daniel-
want to consider, right? Given his position as a vice president on Charles Coffey. So the election was conducted in Banga, despite he didn't take seat officially as they will term it to be. But I think Charles Coffey leadership might have turned things over to Daniel Yankun, given the position as
Well,
a vice
not
president.
to our knowledge.
Upon the
In-
resignation of Charles
No,
Coffey.
I mean, Coffee did not resign, right? Daniel did not resign. Their tenure at the constitution expired, right? They were in power when the crisis ensued at the union.
Their
But
tenure got
despite
expired, but they were in leadership and had the responsibility to have conducted election.
Yes, and
prior
they
to-
failed,
yes.
they failed to conduct the elections. So democratically, their legitimacy was in crisis. That's why the union has been a bit down because there was nobody to deal with these guys who were not democratically serving their term, right? Because their term had already expired. So any leadership that is taking over, Kofi, the president at the time, will have to be held accountable in terms of reporting what he left because he was the one in power at that particular time, democratically. He has not been able to turn power. I mean, there was an induction that was illegally scheduled to have taken place in Buchanan when the court placed a stay order on our counting on that particular induction. Right, that induction has not been held. So you can't say Daniel was in power. No, Daniel imposed himself as an acting president or acting vice president. It's even applies to Queen. So they were not being recognized. So
So you
it
say,
is
when you say he imposed himself,
yeah, because when your tenure ends,
your
when your
tenure
tenure
ends, it is burden upon you to conduct election or to set up
before that tenure ends, per the constitution, you conduct a credible electoral exercise.
Okay.
If that does not happen, right, what happens? You have to give the leadership to the membership because the press union is a
So when
membership
you give it to
organization.
the membership, Membership who directly?
The membership per the Constitution is the highest decision body of the President. The membership is above elected officers. 4 persons that are elected in the President of Liberia, or 4 persons are elected, but they are not above the Constitution. They are not above the membership. So whenever, in fact, there is a dispute at the President, for example, the membership of the Constitution a single member can request the convening of an extraordinary Congress, right, or meeting of the group, right? But that extraordinary meeting will have to meet certain constitutional requirements. For example, to test the registered members of the group will have to sign onto the particular resolution to come for an extraordinary meeting. And that did not happen throughout the crisis because the first thing is the membership register was in crisis. Which membership will you have gone to get the tutors? Would you want to use the membership register of 2019 that was also in dispute, the 1,166 persons tutors or that particular number? Or will you want to use the different membership listings that were published by different committees at the union, for example, 1,426 by the Congress and the subcommittee on elections and inauguration? Or will you want to go by the and Eddie Hamafana membership register of 1,374 plus an addendum of 35? So the union was in this, and that is known. I mean, it's not something that is in secret. So there was no legitimate leadership. So the only leadership that was recognized and whose tenure expired was the coffee leadership to which Daniel Akwe and Musa Kenin were apart, but their tenure expired.
But they have been this proud. They have been this proud or complained by the leadership of the President of Liberia that we started observing from Tax Coffee to Daniel Conan, right? And whenever they call for meeting, you wouldn't see press or journalists going for
because I mean that's what I said.
For retrieve, you didn't see people.
Union was facing a craft.
How long did the union start to experience the crisis?
But the crisis
is it from the crisis or from
from the crisis? I mean, from the coffee era,
right?
The coffee era, 2019. If you can recall, there was similar dispute in the press union about the membership registration. It went to courts about manipulating the membership registration. That was fine between Otaki Williams and Charles Coffey, right? They both, one went to court like we did, right? And again, without resolving the matter, the injunction was lifted, and Coffey held elections himself, Daniel Yanko and Musa. They conducted the affairs of the union without the legitimacy that is required. In as much people say, yes, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. That happened.
So from 20, I
don't want to say he compromised, but at a certain stage, people said, give the guys the benefit of the doubt. They've already shot themselves in the legs. They won't perform up to the expectations of the membership. And you have a testament. Other journalists living in Liberia, they know how the union was run between 2019 and 2022. What happened in 2019 was similar to what was being repeated in 2022. So this time around, the membership with credible actors at the forefront of the process, very serious-minded actors, intending to change the narrative within the President of Liberia, said this can't happen here again. We will have to insist, we will have to ensure
that
the rights of the membership are respected, that the Constitution is adhered to. If not, the union cannot proceed in terms of governance. We can have group of actors always attempting to manipulate the membership registration. Why is it they don't want Edwin Dwa, if he's elected, to vote, to decide who becomes the leaders of the PUL? Why is it they don't want Sam Andrews, for example, to decide, but to bring other people who are not elected to put them on the membership register? The colleagues raise the issues, and those issues are fundamentally constitutional. I mean, there's nowhere we could go. Nowhere we could go without emphasizing the Constitution.
Maybe the committee decided to have done the way they conducted because because they needed revenue because they
Which
used
revenue?
according to the Daniel Yankona, they said there was no funding for the election, so you had the commission going extra mile, giving
No,
out
it's a poor
article,
excuse.
giving article to
It's a
people
poor
who didn't
excuse.
deserve it, and they were giving full membership and associate membership as well. So they were doing it because they wanted to generate revenue to conduct the election.
You can say you want to generate revenue and you engage in fraud, right?
How
To
do we
do
consider
that,
that fraud?
to do that, to give the membership, especially the full membership, because per the Constitution, Article 4, Section 1, it says to be a full member of the President of Liberia, you must have obtained, for example, a bachelor degree in communication, journalism, or media, and practiced with your degree for 2 years to become a full member. If you don't have a degree in journalism, media, or communication, you did, for example, economics like myself, or you did accounting, or you did like fraud, and you studied public administration, you practiced with a bachelor for 3 years. You must have communication, journalism, and media, right? If you've not gone to university, there are many other journalists who have gone to different training institutes. If you have not gone to the university to achieve your bachelor, what you do, you practice for 5 years. That is the minimum threshold that anyone can become a full member of the PUL. Without those criteria being met, you can't be a full member of the PUL. And besides, you must be a Liberian journalist. Who is a journalist? It's controversial in terms of the definition. But journalists are people who are involved in public information dissemination. The task of public information dissemination is obliged to be done by journalists. So the Constitution is clear. If you don't become a full member of the union, there is another membership that you mentioned. It is the associate membership. So that membership means that you are not eligible to vote in the union's election because you've not met the criteria of the full members. So what has happened, right, in the press union is that the associate membership these days, nobody cares. I think just a few times I did one small post on Facebook discussing about debate about the issue of the associate membership. Per practice of the whenever you become your first time membership, you get an associate membership. You practice for 4 or 5 years before you can get your full membership rights. Because the associate membership is a graduated step towards the full membership. So it is essential that we get to know that in the professional journalism, you must either practice for 5 years to become a full member because it is only the full members that have the right to vote in the press union elections. In fact, in the press union, I know sometimes we say the voter roll, the voter roll. There is nothing that should be the voter roll in the press union. It is the full membership register. And the key point of contention in 2022 was the production of the membership register in line with the Constitution, specifically Article 10, Section 7. It says that the leadership, especially the membership committee, in consultation with the leadership, must produce the membership register, taking into consideration the categories of membership. And the categories of membership can be derived, or it is derived from Article 4, Section 1. It says you have the full membership, the associate membership, the affiliate membership, and the institutional membership. And if you read Article 10, Section 7 further, it says that the membership register should be disaggregated into, for example, males, females, delinquents, or
Active.
active in the due paying members, then the positions, editors, reporters, etc. So what we said in 2022 was that the list that was produced by the membership committee or the Congress committee, so the lists were not produced in line with the Constitution. For example, they put Edwin Dwyer, they put Mill, right? We don't know what position Edwin Dwyer holds at any other media institution. We don't know the institution he works for. We, in fact,
Was that one of the what you
yes,
you recognized?
it is because what was happening was that you could see on the list you have Edwin Dwyer, Rancher Edwin Dwyer, we know him. Down the line, you see D. Edwin Dwyer and Penimin the Edwin Dra and Edwin Dra could be one person, but it could also be two different persons. So we observe that you have to produce a list in line with the Constitution. If you have Edwin Dra, you have the Edwin Dra. Where are these two Edwin Dras working? What positions are they holding? So if you produce the list, just 1 second. If you produce the list, in line with the Constitution, you disaggregate the data. You know what will happen? You will be identified with your institution, and then people can verify. Is it true that Eden Dra worked because of Liberia or at Radio Kakata or Radio Banga? And if so, how long has he been working? Because we want to establish that Eden Dra is either eligible or ineligible to practice. I mean, to be a full member of the
full member or an
associate member
to give you the legitimacy.
It's possible. It's possible. Yes, it's possible that Edwin is employed at the Force of Liberia. He might have come from Maryland or Magibi. So we will trace the employment history of Edwin Dra. But first, produce the list in line with Article 10, Section 7. They refused. So we said, if that cannot be done, how do we clean the membership register? Besides that, we called.
So you said they refused. Is it the membership committee that refused it, or it was the leadership?
Everyone. First.
So how are you concluding that everyone?
Yes, because we're involved in the process.
The first you were contesting, and the other party was contesting as well.
We have a right.
How you authorize them to be one?
No.
When you had a committee planning the affairs of
all of them, because the first thing is the Constitution calls for the production of the membership register by the membership committee in consultation with the leadership. The leadership at the time was running for elected position, right? Daniel Yankuna was the first president.
Committee is also an independent committee.
No, it's not. It should be an independent committee.
So
but the committee seems to have been acting in favor of a SAC in the elections. Because if you have no interest in the elections,
so how do you think they developed interest in having a SAC and working
they were appointed by the leadership. And guess what?
Was it by their will or by the Constitution of the Union?
No, the Constitution gives the officers that are elected, especially the president, in consultation with the other officers to appoint these committees. So they have their right to appoint. Before the appointment of some of these committee members, were consulted to send names. For example, if we send your name or the names of people that we believe will help to conduct a credible membership registration. Guess what?
To be a member on the committee.
On the committee.
So the Constitution provides that you as a...
No, it does not provide.
Just to have a suitable environment.
To have an all-inclusionary process to ensure that those who have vested interest in the Congress of the Union, their interests are satisfied, and to ensure the integrity of the membership registration, right? So they suggested to us to submit names. Coffee administration, we submitted names. Guess what? If we submit your name, they say Edwin Dra is a radical. Edwin Dra is a radical.
Yeah, maybe they had their own ring.
No, I mean, but why is it you are appointing other people, right, who have interests on the other side? When we say names of our people, they said, and these are members of the organization, they said these people were radicals. They were critical.
So there you sense the flaw.
There where we sense that something was fundamentally going to happen wrong. So we did it 2-3 times, it failed.
Okay.
So what happened was we said we will not question Edwin Dra when he's appointed by the other side. Right. What we will do, we will review the work of Mr. Edwin Dra. If the work is in line with our constitution, we have no qualms. And once that work does not fall in line with the constitution, we will raise the alarm. In October 21st, right, they published the first provisional listing of the membership, right, go on the 10th of October. After that, 5 days later, they published on October 15 a list. The first list, the provisional listing, have 1,245. They published again the final list, final.
First of 1,245.
The second was published on October 15. The first was published on the 10th of October 2022, 1,245. The final list was published on the 15th of October of 1,374. right? So when that list was published, while we're conducting an assessment, evaluation of the list to see who are those placed on the list, whether they were eligible or ineligible, doing our own investigation. Guess what? A few days later, Congress committee, the membership committee, they came out the public addendum.
So how swift you guys were in responding to the publication from the committee?
When
How
we
swift
published the
that-
second list on the second list on the 15th of October, we're doing an evaluation of the list, meaning conducting a review.
I know.
Name
How
by
swift
name.
you
Name by name. So why in that process of conducting the review, an addendum list came out. So they published the final, remember, on the 15th of October, 1,374.
in the course of 5 days.
So in the course of the 5 days, while reviewing the list, they published an addendum of 35. So we added the 35 to the 1,374. If my mathematics are still correct, it will be 1,409. So we raised an alarm. We sent a letter on the 21st. So you were asking how rapid we were. So from the 15th to the 21st, it should be 6 days, right? We sent a letter immediately that the list that was published was deemed as the final list, right? And that list, what that list has been reviewed by us, you published an addendum of 35. How come? You said this is the final list. And then you brought an addendum of 35. How come? So what that was on, imagine the people who are now responsible for the publication of the list per the constitution of the membership register, the committee, the subcommittee on elections and inauguration, they took all of the lists. They said they were doing evaluation or assessing the work or reviewing the work of the membership committee, right? They don't have a right. The Congress committee, the elections committee, when they took the list from 1,374, they increased the list that we have problem with. On the 14th of November, publish a list.
But the Congress is responsible to conduct the election.
No, no. This is how it goes, right? So let me just end our point before we come to who is responsible for the conduct or whatsoever, right? So they publish a list on November 14th, 5 days to the Congress. They publish a list. 4 to 5 days to the Congress. They publish a list of 1,426. Edwin, you are interested in being elected officers of the union. The Constitution says that the membership register should be produced or published in 2 local days, not less than 30 days before the Congress. In 5 days to
Congress.
5 days to the Congress. If you are interested in winning elections, somebody publish a list that have a lot of different names. What will you do? You can't participate in such a process. So they were not responsible to produce the membership register. What was done by Fabian and the Hammond, the 2-person committee, was right in terms of producing first the provisional listing. Even at that, they shouldn't have been provisional listing because the Constitution says you publish the membership register not later than 30 days. You publish the first one on the 10th, I told you. They published the second one on the 15th. Publish the addendum few days later.
So don't you think they were publishing the list because they wanted to have convinced the public that the process is transparent?
Also have the Constitution.
To have had
No. What they were doing was, one, if you publish a list on the eve of elections, you don't have a period to challenge anything, right? Because by the Constitution, the list should be published not later than 30 days.
Yeah, I'm talking about
the
the first list that was, published on the 10th and the second on the 15th. So I'm like saying,
the Constitution you don't have to emphasize that because for the transparency. No, it's required. The Constitution, Article 10, Section 7. It says, let me just read it for you verbatim. The membership committee, with the approval of the PUL leadership, shall publish in not less than 2 local days, register members of the union not later than 30 days before Congress. So whether you publish it at your home or whatsoever, but you must be able to publish, and that calls for it to be done publicly in 2 local days. So transparency is already required. It's not something that they were doing at their own impulses. It was constitutional. It continues. It says, Lists of all registered members of the union shall be disaggregated into categories of membership, males and females, due paying and non-due paying or delinquent members, editors, reporters, etc. So this is constitutional. So what we observe on the eve of elections, somebody brought something they call voter roll. Just a few times, I think it was just 2 days ago, right? Somebody either was happy, started to post names of people in the chat room. That the list has come up from the interim leadership committee, right? So people were saying, "Oh, I did not see my name. I did not see my name," because it is very essential that we have a credible membership register. Without it being done in line with the constitution, you cannot proceed.
So now do we have system put in place as we eye to observe the election on August 24th?
Where the court is on our consistency and persistence to ensure that the integrity of the union is protected in terms of the production of the membership register in line with the constitution. The court mandated the constitution of an 11-member committee, 7 former officials of the PUL and 4 media elders. So, to my knowledge, on the 12th of July, they formally took over the leadership of PUL because on the 12th, of July, they formally took over the leadership of the PUL after convening a mass. Yes, it's an ad hoc committee, so it's an intern body. The court uses the term intern committee of 11. So they took over the leadership of the PUL from the guys who were not there legitimately. And like I told you, I said the guys were
They were elected.
legitimacy.
They were elected to get there. That's why the term got
No, they
over,
were
but
not elected to get there.
it was burden upon
They
them to
brought-
have conducted the election before vacating the position. However, how be it?
So they went ahead and conducted elections in the night.
Yeah,
So
so
example,
however, yeah.
right? 7:30 p.m. to 3:40 a.m. This was unprecedented in the history of the PUL. When there's a dispute, let's say because it was a dispute that caused us to do this. No, you've not been able to resolve the dispute. You start stepping the rights of the majority membership of the PUL to satisfy your own desire, and you violating. Violating. No, it's not resources. The first thing they said to us, they were not going to transport you as a journalist. That's not paying your registration. Your registration.
Yeah.
Because the dues were somehow waived, right? Because they failed to collect the dues in 3 years. So they could not have looked at anything to look at $70 times 3 years to give it to them. It was going to be difficult. Nobody trusted their leadership. Nobody trusted their leadership. And if you are elected the president, you fail to collect dues the first year, the second year, the third year, elections year where you want the incumbent or the vice president to win, you say people should pay due. People will tell you, say, "Man, you're not serious."
So the entire electoral process in 2022, the Daniel Yankona leadership or the committee, as you considering Daniel Yankona leadership to have any calls with the committee that
No,
was
Yankona
conducting.
did not have a leadership at the PUL.
No,
When
I
it
was
was
a
the
leadership.
the task of a leadership.
Okay, chance for but if after Coffee left, Yankona decided to take
No, we don't
over.
recognize that nomenclature.
Okay, so the court process, we saw the court process being dragged, and there was this speculation that former City Mayor Jefferson Kochi was also involved in influencing the election of the PUL, given his side and understanding that he was in support of Daniel Yankona, because he wanted the press to be compromised on how the 2023 election was being conducted. Meanwhile, the court, we saw different, positions of the various judges from Banga coming to the Supreme Court here. Some will come like it's in favor of Julius, and after 1 week, you see like it's in favor of Daniel Kona. And it went on that journalists started throwing jabs at each other in the various chat rooms. So, how did you also understand that maybe there was a national politics being played at the back? Maybe you since way back and you had your own connection and you stood your ground, and today you go back to election.
But the president, the elections in the president as an institution is a public interest organization. So sometimes,
So it's no doubt to hear that there was a Kochi had
well, we don't. For our campaign, we say
It's a way it has interest. So
no,
it's
for
a
our
national
campaign,
interest.
we said the journalists must be able to decide who becomes the leaders of the press union. We care less about any good, credible, or nefarious actors than to be involved in the process. If Edin Drua thinks that it is somebody outside that can tell him, say, you need this sort of a leader for the PUL, then we leave it with Edin Drua.
But also threatening.
No. What we want all of you to see it, whether you feel threatened or you felt threatened by some of these actors, only you could determine. That is why the membership was resolved that what happened in 2019 will not be repeated. And that state or non-state actors that are not members of the organization, they cannot hijack power at the PUL at the expense of professionalism, at the expense of integrity. That was why the membership stood by us and they remained with us to ensure that we reach a logical legal conclusion in keeping with law. We are not afraid of anyone, right? You can't buy the president of Liberia membership. It's not possible. They will eat your money free. So, for example, if what you are saying is true, if some of the actors we name were involved, guess what? Their money went in vain. Because if you sponsor the process that was illegal, illegitimate, unconstitutional, we also went to the court. We used the rule of law to overturn what you did, right? And some of them, they are regretting because we are in the know. And some of them, they took telephone, they make telephone calls, they met different journalists at different locations. But those journalists have resolved. The press union needs an integrity-oriented leadership to guard the PUA moving forward. Because the press union needs a credible leadership to work with the government to achieve the developmental needs of the people of Liberia. The press union is not just an organization for journalists. The objectives of the PUL, one of the critical objectives, is the greater promotion of democracy within the country. That was why for us we insisted that we cannot compromise the integrity of the institution for a group of small actors who failed to live up to the expectations of the constitution of our union. So yes, we're aware that always, the people interested in the leadership position of the PUL because they see
integrity. Continue discussing integrity.
Yes, and that is stated in the constitution of the union.
Okay, so
yes, and journalism is about integrity.
It's about integrity. Now,
Yes.
In the media space of our country, there are some journalists who, quote unquote, will go about doing their own investigation, and the investigation might not be balanced. At times, they yellow journalism, and they have been biased in their reportage. So, honor your administration when giving the position as a president. Honor your watch. What do you think the public seek to benefit with regards to the many online TV or platforms being created by an individual that would just today sit and craft a story just to blackmail somebody because they need money? So on your watch as a president, also looking at the Abdullah Kamara of the press freedom, Abdullah Kamara. So how do you intend to tackle this issue on your watch?
Well, it's an important question. And we intend first to have what we call an inclusive leadership, or leadership that will be guided by media editors and young people within the media. And to do so, because will be critical, to ensure that journalism is practiced in line with the ethical standards. The Constitution of the Union has got what we call the Code of Ethics for journalists within Liberia, for those who are practicing journalism in our country. So, like I said, the 6-pillar agenda, right? The second point is about impartial advocacy. So, on impartial advocacy, your question will be addressed because we will work to uphold and enforce ethical standards of journalism, aiming to deepen journalistic and media professionalism. So, that is critical for us, right? And what we will also do is to work constructively with all actors within society to ensuring that ethical principles are enforced and adhered to within the republic that we found ourselves. We cannot allow journalism to be practiced without integrity, without professionalism. So what we intend to do is to work with different actors within the media landscape of our country to ensure that journalism is practiced professionally. Any ethical breach or breaches could be investigated through an impartial process and that the recommendations or the findings from those investigations will be implemented to the letter. When journalists practice professionally, it is the responsibility of the President of Liberia to reward those journalists. It is the responsibility of us who are working within the media community, the media managers, the media owners, media professionals, to help to strengthen journalism in our country. So we will not sit idly and allow people to practice journalism without integrity. The issue of different online platforms. Yes, the advent of social media has expanded the information landscape of our country in terms of information dissemination. So our colleagues who are engaged in online journalism, digital journalism, those colleagues will work with them to ensure that they practice professionally. We are aware that many of them are practicing professionally, but we are also aware that there are some challenges. Those challenges will have to be confronted head on, competitively, by the membership and leadership of the Press Union of Liberia. So we don't intend to just sit as some previous administrators of the Press Union did and allow people to practice unprofessionally. Because unprofessional practices within the media can undermine the integrity of the very institution of journalism in Liberia. So we intend to work to enforce the constitution of our union. Because in Liberia, many journalists, if you do consultations, if you do investigations, many journalists have said they want the press union to be like the Liberia National Bar Association. And they have that in mind. So if journalists are saying the press union should be like the Bar Association in terms of ethical enforcement, because if something happens unethically within the practice of lawyering, the Bar Association can conduct a due process, and then the findings and recommendations of their due process or due processes are enforced. I mean, we are aware that some lawyers, for example, they were barred in practicing law before the Supreme Court.
Yeah, very,
So
very important.
we will work with our colleagues to ensure that yes, the press union will not be like the bar association, but we will raise the bar of the PUL because the bar is a lawyering profession. The journalists are people who belong to a journalistic profession. So there will always be some distinctions or similarities between the bar and the PUL, civil society or professional organizations. So we intend to work with our colleagues. Those with online, I mean, we normally say one man, one woman, one television station. Edwin Draw TV, Julius TV, Panama Television. So we will work to ensure that these colleagues, is it possible that they work collectively? Because, I mean, from our understanding, no one person practices journalism. No one person becomes a journalist. Journalist is a collective institution, meaning that you must be able to work with other people to see your work. Because ethically, editorially, it is always good for people to edit or to review your work.
Okay.
But one may want
So,
you to
let me hold
can
you
be
there.
problematic at times.
Yeah, let me
So
hold you there.
I mean, the way it comes to the issue that you raised
About
of
the-
blackmailing, for
okay.
example, right? About practicing journalism without guardians, without ethics. So we work with our colleagues. They are doing incredible work. And these days, I mean, many different forms of information are online because these colleagues are rendering services. But how can we standardize, professionalize their practices? That will be the responsibility of us when we are given the mandate to govern at the level of the PUL.
We will also consider them as member of the PUL, maybe
The president is a membership organization.
Yeah, whether they people will open up giving maybe not the scholarship because they got some of them they are blocked. They drop the information quickly. They are content creator. Would the PUL have space for them as you know?
The PUL has got space for every Liberian, because for the membership categories of the union, you can become an associate member, for example, or you should be a journalist to become an associate member. You can be an affiliate member of the PUL. In this category of membership of the Constitution, it is granted to individuals who are in the employ of mass media institutions, but are not media personnel. So, for example,
Citizen journalist.
the citizen journalists could be in the employ, but they're not in a real full-time journalist, right?
Yeah, but they are
And the
informed
press
by
union has got override membership. That is not constitutional. But the union can, the leadership can craft a policy, for example, to look at credible members of society, those who are defending the rights of freedom of expression, freedom of speech, and to give them honorary membership. right? So every citizen is
Okay,
a
people who are
beneficiary
not
of the
deeply involved into active media practice, we will give them that award, right?
Yes, yes.
That leverage.
Yes, no, you in a category of membership. Although it's not constitutional, but the constitution says the
No, like a
leadership
conversation you
can.
earlier, you
Well.
how people can't place
I mean, the act of journalism is something that is not too much, restrictive, right? I mean, Costa said publicly that he is not a journalist; he is a political commentator, a political activist. But meanwhile, you are using the media or the medium of journalism to communicate his messages. So sometimes, when he felt in trouble, it was the responsibility of the president of Liberia to advocate for him. Some members of the union would say, oh no, the union should not be advocating for people who are not journalists or people who are not members of the PUL. But no, the press union is a public interest organization. So whether you are a journalist, you are not a journalist, you are a citizen of Liberia, a government employee, an official government, as long as it falls within the territory of free speech, freedom of expression, of rights, of democratic practices, the union has got a responsibility to speak in on some of these issues and to defending your rights as a citizen of Liberia. So we intend to work to improve the condition of journalists in the country. That our pillar on sustainable inclusive media development. This issue of the collective bargaining agreement to improve the service of condition of journalists will have to be brought back.
media owners.
The media owners, media managers, media editors, because those are all influential actors that are helping to govern the media. For example,
do you think it's possible? Do you think it's possible that the media or every media owners will have to cooperate with that?
Media owners,
given the
media
revenue
owners,
generated
media
by
owners that mean well for journalism, that mean well for their workers, the oath to work with the president to improve the condition of journalists. For example, Secretary Sharif at the Voice of Liberia, you have to understand how much is the management paying the staff at Voice of Liberia, and is the salary in line with the minimum wage, for example, and what categories can we put journalists in terms of the employment, classification in Liberia? Are there people that should make above 500 US dollars, or between 250 US dollars and 500, or between 500 and 1,000? Edwin, unless we discuss the salaries and welfare of journalists, unless we have frank discussion with the media owners,
it also comes with the revenue generated
if
by
we
the
keep saying it
institution.
comes with the revenue, we cannot go nowhere.
Why
Because-
if the institution
because-
does not have the
because
ability to generate the
if
revenue?
you don't have the ability,
if
if you don't have the ability, why establish a radio station?
because you want to inform the people.
You want you want to inform the people. But to inform the people, you require agents of news, agents of information dissemination. You can hold these people in bondage condition. You can hold them in slave-like condition. The
But-
welfare of journalists
So in
is
this
critical.
case, it have to be critical. But in this case,
Ed, let me ask you one
journalists
question.
for the news, they might not wait for cattle, and now all of the
Edwin, let me
the
ask you one
newsmaker will
question.
give back.
Let me ask you one question. Do you want your salary as a journalist to be increased or not?
No, it's not about
No,
what
no,
I
no, no,
want
no,
it to
no.
be
Do
increased
you-
or not.
do you-
The thing here is,
do you-
we're trying to set up a standard, right?
Yes.
We're trying to set up a standard. The standard could be if everyone, how the various ministers do. Minister, for example, every minister program salary should start maybe from around 5,000 onward, right? So if a minister went to ministry and start to make like 3,000, be on a pay. So the argument here is minister given that getting direct budget or pay from central government. So as an institution, the radio station will be honor bound to support or to pay every worker at the institution maybe 500 like we earlier projected, right? So how is it that you think how strong or prepared this other institution will be when they are not maybe doing different things to get money from different areas to support the staff or pay the staff? Staff will have to go and sign, give them money to go and gather the news. They are not being picked in the street, and they don't have any source of income. How do you think media institutions will pay their staff?
The first thing we need to understand is that the media isn't a business. It's an economic institution.
Okay.
Right.
It's a business now.
Yeah, it's a business.
How does the media make
you
this?
have serious departments at this particular entity. You have sales agents. We have other people who might be the sponsors or donors of this particular media entity. So they're pumping resources into this particular media entity to function. This radio station, Voice of Liberia, cannot function without the human capacity. Edwin Joa, for instance, he attended the Peter Coco School of Journalism. He paid resources to go to school, right? He applies to other journalists who are going to the university, right? Different universities to speak. So if you employ them or you bring them to, if you hire their labor, their services, you must also be able to compensate these people to practice professionally. I've heard you talking about cattle. I know the implication of what it
That's a
means.
professional.
Because sometimes, there's nothing called professional service fee.
You are professional.
Right?
Then,
No, it's a form. It's a form. Many people have got different feelings of the cattle. Some people say it's a form of influence, a form of bribery, a form of to facilitate the way.
That's
But what
another thing.
happens if, for example, you become
Do you
a
encourage
star
journalists
radio?
to take that? Encourage
No,
journalists to
no,
take
they, no. You never ever encourage journalists to take something that will influence them, right? It does not mean that some will not take it, right? Because again, like you said, the economic condition. If your employer, for example, Voice of Liberia is paying you $250, you are on an obligation to protecting the institution of journalism. That's why sometimes some of us practice journalism, and we are taking some of these gifts from politicians. The day you fall off of that particular politician, and you have some tension in your relationship, guess what? They expose you. Say you are a cattle-oriented journalist. You're somebody that can be influenced. So, per the constitution of the union is there to advocate for the working condition of journalists to be improved, right? So it is our responsibility. When I was working for the Star Radio would tell the public, don't give our journalists any cattle. Don't give our journalists any money. Because if you do so, and we are aware we will sack the person, right? It is intended for you to practice professionally. I'm not saying those who take control, or those who take gifts, or those who receive service fees from different people are not professional. But the nomenclature is, the interpretation is, when you are involved in taking money from people, sometimes it can influence your ability to reporting independently. So what we need to do is to sit with the media owners, the media managers. First, what was the purpose of creating the Voice of Liberia, establishing the Voice of Liberia? And to disseminate information, how do you go about? What is the salary scale? Because the government, you see, when they say people are in poverty,
So would there
when
be
they
a
say people,
policy crafted by the union, by your administration, that all of the media executive of media owners will subscribe to?
the
Or
union will work
is it open there?
No, no,
If
no.
you want to subscribe, you subscribe.
There was a policy developed, I think, between 2010 and 2013 by the Peter Coco leadership, collective bargaining agreement. It was being negotiated institutionally. For example, first, to have a large-scale conversation with media owners, media managers, media editors, sit with them and say, how much should an editor make in Liberia? How much should a reporter make in Liberia? And then, if there's a threshold agreement, go back. We take the agreement to the media owners, to the editors. Please, we implore Edwin as an editor. This is what you need to pay him.
Okay.
So, in your salary or employment negotiation, you already have a policy document by the Press Union of Liberia that says
To back you.
to back you, to bargain with your employer. And that is important because without the bargaining, there where people can be complaining. Oh, I tell what my employer, right? If you get sick right now, Edwin, sorry to say it, right? I know it does not apply to every journalist, but assume a journalist gets sick. What happens? The person's name is all over on the radio, escort in the chat rooms, and looking for funding to cater to their welfare, to cater to their medical condition, right? So for us, we need now to discuss the issue of health insurance for journalists. If you are working at Voice of Liberia, is it possible that what the Voice of Liberia is giving you, is it possible what you are paying to the PUA as a due, as a membership registration? Can we take small amount, percentage, and put it into a special fund so that tomorrow when you are sick, you use that fund as insurance to go to hospital rather than saying you must contribute financially. There are times, I mean, people will not have the money to contribute, and sometimes it becomes difficult. Just recently, some of our colleagues they fell ill. Guess what? It was a former journalist who has served in government for a long period of time who intervened. The person needed $250 to go to hospital to receive the first set of treatment. The person could not afford, and that person has spent years in the media, more than a decade practicing journalism. You can afford, your institution can afford $250, and then you say you're involved in public information dissemination. So it is the responsibility of the PUL to advocate. Because, Edwin, for example, if the teachers are on strike, the health workers are on strike, the civil servants in government, right, are on strike, who carries the news? Who
The
carries the
journalists.
information? The journalists,
The
right?
journalists.
But guess what? Journalists at the Voice of Liberia, at our radio station, they can never ever discuss the issue of their health, the issue of their salary, because they
Issue of
feel
their maltreatment.
because they feel they
So
are doing public service. So we have
unity? Do you see
we have to
unity among
discuss.
among journalists across the country? Like how other institution will be, teachers will be fighting their colleagues because they have
There is
the
a
other person
unity. There is a
employ
unity.
and employ the person volunteering, or the person from a very big institution and the person from small institution. You want to bring up that bigotry. This question is coming from the background of I witnessed interaction or difference between reporters and media members, some veteran journalists. They went on, and the more recent one at the Bella Casa Hotel, where the press secretary Kula had, a meeting with cross section of journalists. So you have Philip Brown and the rest of the veteran journalists. They went on, especially Philip, who expressed that he can sit in, a meeting with a reporter, a mere reporter, to have an issue being discussed. So it was like a slap or a disgrace. It was denigrating to reporters who were there. You we had a lot of reporters who later on stood to have had a very strong statement against Philip Bell. But then the honest thing here is, do you think it's prudent enough that veteran journalists will have to distance themselves or present themselves as a veteran journalist, or the younger ones should be the one to recognize them as a veteran journalist in the society?
Well, I was not at the meeting yet.
No, I'm giving the
I
understanding
was
that
not there, so I don't know
no,
what
you
was
were not there. I'm
and
giving the
so
understanding
the
that
issue of respect,
respect, yeah,
the issue
among
of
reporters
respect.
and media
Yes.
owners or veteran journalists.
I don't know how the meeting was called and who should have or should not have been in the meeting, and what should the meeting have entailed in terms
You know,
of
it was an
different,
open. It was,
yeah, different categories of people. Yeah,
it was
I
an
did not
open.
see the invitation. So I don't know the context. I don't know the character, the content of the meeting.
I'm
So
just
I will
referencing
reserve.
that.
I will reserve
But
comment.
I'm
What I
talking
can
about
say
the broad
is
perspective where
what I
media
can
owners
say.
or
Yeah,
veteran
what I
journalists
can
will want to
say.
demand a reporter,
Yeah, what I can
to
say.
give them respect.
Yeah, what I can say is the profession of journalism is a respectable profession.
Okay.
It does not call for certain group of people to class themselves in a specific category because journalism is about breaking class barriers, right? I mean, you and myself have been accused on the basis of my education, being somebody who belongs to a specific class, but say he feels that he's educated. I mean, I feel sort of for English, right? Because I went to school, I don't feel I'm educated, right? I am educated. And if you tell me, say, I feel that I'm educated, so how do you feel as an individual? I'm not educated or not. But in life, you take different courses in terms of what you believe is best for you and what you believe is best for society. Some of us we believe to transform society, we must have to gain certain education. We must have to gain certain experiences, right? And we took that particular mandate. We are using our education for the social transformation of our country. So I don't belong to any class, and I will never ever encourage anyone, whether veteran or male level career person or somebody who just entering the profession, to put themselves into a specific class. I will not agree with that. If there was a meeting called by anyone, the intent of the meeting should be known, and the participants of the meeting should be known. So if I were in that particular position of a media owner or a media veteran, whenever I'm invited to a meeting, I must be able to organize myself in terms of asking the organizers, for example, to say who all would be at this particular meeting, what is the intent. Then I can be able to decide whether to go to the meeting or not to go. But I'm also on an obligation as a media veteran. I mean, if I'm to put myself in the veteran category, right, I'm on an obligation to respect my fellow media professionals, despite my years of practice, despite my education, despite my social position in society. I'm on an obligation to attend any meeting with any lower reporter, any upper level media manager. So for me, I think there was a miscommunication with the organizers. The organizers should have properly communicated the participants, the participants of the meeting, those that were to participate in the meeting, and an editor or media owner or veteran who decides that I cannot sit with my reporter in such a meeting, or they decide that yes, since for example my reporter or reporters are covering the executive mansion, and the executive mansion has been able to invite me, I can sit with them in the meeting. But what I'm aware of is there has been some tension in the relationship between certain media owners or managers and at the level of the presidency, in terms of the coverage of the president, in terms of access to the presidency, in terms of the relationship between the office of the president to the press secretary and these media owners. So I, as an individual, I will attend any meeting with any human being for that particular matter, whether at the lower level, at the medium level, at the upper level, or any level, right? So for us, we tend to break down barriers
So
in
before
society.
we go to the line now and open the line so the Liberian people can have their say, the cash giveaway is still on, yeah? Hoping so you can make your five.
But why is it you know you've been able to give me some of the cash?
Because you are not playing.
Just joking, just joking.
Okay. So keep the entry coming down, star 799 hash. You okay and select number 8 was Liberia, play with $100 Liberty or 70 cents and win the 5,000. Today we're giving out 5,000. So once we come back, we're taking almost 4 winners in row, like how we did at first. So we'll take 4 winners in row. So keep the entry down, star 799 hash. Okay and select number 8 was Liberia, play with $100 or 70 cents and win 5,000 Liberian dollars. We go back to Judith. Judith, we are going to an election on August 24th. The AHA committee said, are you pleased with the committee?
Where the committee was mandated by the court to constitute itself.
Are you pleased with the committee?
I'm saying that the committee was set up by the court
Are
to
you
conduct
pleased
itself.
with the committee?
So it is not for me to this place. The
No,
committee is working.
look at the law of trust and credibility. Like you
We
mentioned
welcome the work of the committee.
Okay.
Yes. I mean,
But since the 4th of July, right? Are you seeing anything future or they are in line?
what do you mean by speaking?
Like something you
The committee is of
experience?
fish?
No, not a fish per se, but like something you are experiencing that you earlier saw in the committee that was established or set up by Daniel Cohen administration or Charles Cove administration that conducted the first election that led.
Well, this
or
is
went
a
into
committee.
flop.
I mean, to just intervene. This is a committee of former leaders, especially on Liberian media editors. We respect the decision of those.
We heard that he's on the committee.
Yeah, Peter Kobe has been. I mean, he has been.
It's also
has been
alleged that
convening.
Peter Kobe was put in the presidency.
I mean,
And he's on the team.
He has a right to support anyone
No,
in
he
the
has the
presidency.
right. But he's
Yes.
present on the committee. Don't you think he influence another?
There's no one.
Another party to say Peter Cook was supporting Julius, and now he's been appointed, on the committee.
If you
possibly
check-
he can influence anything.
If you check the membership register that was produced by the different committees, the name of Peter Kobe, for example, is on the list. So sometimes people overemphasize people's support for you. Somebody is the person does not vote for you, and the person is eligible to vote for you. I mean, I don't know whether you call that for support, right? Peter is a former
No
president.
influence. It's not support. It's
Peter has
influence.
not called
It is influence.
unlike the person that you need, that government official you're talking about. Peter has not called anyone to support Julius. In fact, if he was supporting us, he has played an insignificant role in our campaign. And he has said, for
So how
example,
vigilant
vigilance in terms of
like
monitoring the committee or getting to the membership.
monitoring the committee and being very vocal on how the process be conducted, like how
you will start having problems. So
no, not about problems, but the right thing to be done.
Yeah, thank God you said the right thing should be done, right?
Yeah.
So we've been working with the committee, and I say this, to answer your question, we respect those on the committee. Before the committee constituted itself, the committee have worked behind the scene with all parties, all contending sides, all of parties in the district.
The election will be in Monrovia at the SKD. How do we intend to bring in the people from Maryland?
Well, the committee at the announcement on the 12th of July stated that it does not have the resources to bring any journalists to the Congress or to the elections, because it will be a special election.
Okay, then you
Congress.
So you earlier criticized the previous committee that they earlier announced that they also had a funding to have transported.
No, they collected
for election.
They collected $10 from each person.
Yeah, maybe it was just to have found the process, transport the committee,
process.
bring out ballot people.
$10 times 1,426 persons. How many thousand dollars is it?
It's not about how many times we generated, but it's about why is it that one purpose
this committee is not an elected committee. It's an interim committee. The committee has not collected a dime of anyone.
So are they going to go by the same voter registration that was being conducted by the previous commission?
Yes,
committee?
the court said the membership lists of the voter roll should be cleaned by the committee. By ruling or by making such a pronouncement, by the court making such a pronouncement, there is a recognition that there is an existing list. So that particular list, the committee is cleaning. The committees, in the statement that.
So how are they cleaning the list?
In line with Article 10, Section 7, the court stated the membership register or the voter roll should be clean in line with Article 10, Section 7, meaning that they put the name of Edin Dwa. Edin Dwa, before becoming a full member of the President of Liberia, must have filled a form. If he did not vote in 2019, for example, in 2016 or in 2013, right, or in 2010, means that he just entered the President. Before you become a member of the President, whether associate, affiliate, or full member, you must be able to fill a form. So the committee will take the form and investigate, because the form will ask you different questions, or on the forms there are different questions. When you started the practice of journalism, so if you started, for example, in 2019, the committee can be able to count from 2019 to 2022. 22. Is it 5 years? Yes. So the committee will say,
it just 5 years.
No, I'm saying from 2019 to 2022, because the committee is dealing with the 2022 membership register. It is not doing any new registration to comply with the mandate of the court. So the committee has said that yes, 2 years have already passed, but the court did not say conduct a fresh registration process. The court said clean the existing membership register. So the committee now is taking the forms per our understanding. Right. The committee said it has a strategy to clean the membership register, but also the committee has said that it will publish the lists. So after cleaning,
so when do we expect them to publish the list? As per the Constitution, 30 days.
Yes,
30 days to the Congress.
This will be also the Constitution. It wouldn't fall in line with the 30 days.
Okay, so it can possibly go 15 days.
No, the committee what was
it will go below 30 days.
Well, per what was published by the committee on July 12th, the committee said beginning the 22nd, right, for example, they said from the 15th to the 20th of July, commencement of screening or cleaning of membership roll. Then from the 22nd, I think this should be the one, the 20,
today the 22nd.
22nd, right? From the 22nd,
right now.
From the 22nd of July, publication of the provisional membership roll in 2 newspapers, and PUL bulletin board at the headquarters. So today, we expect between now and 12 or 11:59 p.m.
But
the committee shall have published
if the committee does not publish this, it will be a violation of its own timetable. Then they will have to announce to the membership that we are unable. Circumstances have, impeded to, this blah, 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 blah. So we expect that between the 22nd and the 31st, there will be challenges of protests. So the committee has got a timetable. Let's give the committee the time, the space, because like you said,
So
we
they
don't
also have to publish this on the PUL website, right?
No, it's in two local dailies in the PUL bulletin. The PUL website are not too sure it functioning. It's existing, but in terms of updates, the secretariats that was existing at the time, they did not do their work, and so the website could be down, and perhaps also because of the crisis. So we expect that any new leadership that will take over the union produce a website, make sure that the website is fully updated.
So
this
who are
issue
those?
of the membership register, for example, Edinburgh, what we will do on our administration will work with the necessary IT experts, the technology experts, to come build a website. When you are registering online. The date will be there, the time that you register will be there. So that tomorrow, if your name does not appear on the membership register, you can go online and say, but on July the 22nd, at this particular hour, I register, right? Even due payment will be collected through your institution by the constitution. As long as you are a full member, you are working at the Voice of Liberia, $5 per month, we take it from your salary. We are coming to work with you to improve the condition of journalism in Liberia. That's why before we take the $5, we make sure we advocate first for your salary to be in line with the existing cost of living in Liberia. We are not coming to tax you unnecessarily. We are coming to work together collectively to make journalism stronger. So that tomorrow, if we are successful in establishing a website, you know what we intend to do? To do a profile of you, Edinburgh. When you enter the profession, how many institutions have you worked for? So the baseline data will be there. So tomorrow, if somebody look at you and says, Edinburgh is not qualified to receive the full membership, he may say, I mean, let's take this particular link. The president has got a record of me. The record is there. I started the practice of journalism in 2010. The president has documented that. So the union will have to profile its members so that internationally, nationally, and globally, or continentally in terms of the African continent, other people can be able to search for you, to see some of your works in journalism, media, and communication. I am pleased that on this particular show, you are doing recording. So people can be able to view a little and say what Julia said. So these are the sort of a documentary and the profiling we intend to do at the union once we are given the mandate for the membership. We intend to make the press union stronger. We intend to make the press union as an institution that will help govern the media sector of our country. Working in collaboration, for example, with the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, that is being presided over by Jerry Limick, PR. PR has been in the communication sector for a very long period of time. We believe he has the knowledge, he has the education. I'm told he went to one of the biggest universities in the world, in the United States, while he was out of the country. He's somebody who understands the media landscape, the issue of governance of our society. We believe we can work with him to help to govern the media sector of our country, to ensure that we improve government or the state media relationship, the society media relationship. Because no government, especially in the context of democracy, can govern without the media. And the media requires the functioning of democracy to practice its work, especially in a democracy.
Okay, Julius, let's hope that we go to the line now and open the line, see what other people could call and have their say on the credibility of journalists in Liberia, how things should work out for journalists in Liberia, especially with the lone state election and painting for August 24th, how they look at the work of journalists in Liberia as well. We could also give them that opportunity to provide us their understanding on some hard questions you might want to ask you maybe when you are president of the PUL, how you go about tackle some of the major challenges journalists are faced with in the country and the quick response journalists to the situation in various communities. 0770-907-907, 0770-907-907. Julius Canova is our guest, and he's in giving us his position on the Press Union of Liberia election. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Name where you call from?
My name is Wilbert, and call from the area.
That's how you were from.
So, I let the enthusiasm brought forth to this discussion, except that you guys are the same estate, flag most of the issues relating to societal norms and its negative. But where was in your factor? Genesis make you start 30. Some people don't even get paid. They are institutional 8 to 9 months. What's stopping you guys from advocating in that regard?
That's a
Y'all will
society.
flag everything outside several. Y'all will take it and put it on your head. All of areas, all labor practices.
Okay.
Everything you guys will flag it. But the thing I expecting you, your colleagues, to the extent that people will compromise the professional ethics because nothing is being able to.
Thank you.
So if a candidate give a time that is like, I'm gonna fire your pay, say you were compromising. I think you guys should direct everything that we got a better than life of your colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You made your point. Hello. Oh, the person dropped the line. 0770-907-907, 0770-907-907 is a journalist who will go about reflecting the issues by other institutions, but we keep silent on the own. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you come from?
My name is James.
Yeah, James, how are you?
For the way Jesus I think it brings a lot to the table.
Are you a journalist?
No, I'm not a media practitioner.
Okay.
And for the past, let's say, that corner have brought the problem Jesus too. And this is the time that President needs a decent leadership that will revive the President and for the betterment and empowerment of country. President is the last dog of society, and it needs to be led by an executive person. And I think serious online has everything to make sure that people uphold ethics practicing the profession. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You made your point. 0770-907-907, 0770-907-907. Called and have your say on the conversation. Journalists, according to Julia, do not accept professional service fee. The president, you come off the line. Don't give the line. I will not call you. 0770-907-907, 0770-907-907. And the cash giveaway is on as well. Keep the entry coming through that star 799 hash. Okay, and select number 8 for the Liberia. Play with Montreal Liberty 5,000. Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Your name and where you call from?
Well, I want to Liberia security journalist via Bobby Addison, also of Team Judah Canada.
Go ahead, Mr. Allison.
Thank you very much. I called this evening. I just moved to that when I heard you talk about the and journalism. So I know when indeed we are discussing the issue about Chanzu and other issues that has to do with the media. Well, then I want to speak as journalists to see how well we can prepare ourselves for the coming election that will take place in August. I want all journalists to be focused. The issue about voter roll need to be clean. That is the key issue that we need to go through because we don't want to have people that have not gone through the process to become full members of the period and feel the most in the past to have them going out to make decisions for all. Veterans will call ourselves people that went through the process. So to all journalists, my voice was dead. Please let us know what should be the cleaning of the water because we are white dog. People are looking at us. What happened to us in the we had our election and there's no leader because was not properly done. Now we have to go to court. Will people take us serious as journalists? Let us bring to the institution around here. And not think I think our brother just that pass off. If you think the media is staying a stop will go through this process, you don't go to hospital because where is the funding? Where is popularity you get in the profession? Make you popular. Oh, like I went for the program, I called my name. People were shocked to see me. They've been hearing the name. Now auto A, the money. How much is the so because people get this man, they don't pay. You see?
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of things to that the people need to look into so they can do the proper what people say. We pray that there should be a national party for all journalists. That's my recommendation.
Thank you.
Because we just very truly broke can do all of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, you live. Your
Hello.
name? You live. Your name?
Yeah, this is David. I'm calling from somewhere on the back.
Who, David?
David.
Let's hear you.
And I hope I'm not deviating from your topic, but I'd like to ask you about. Look, I don't know when last the current headquarters of the prison in Liberia.
You said when last you what?
I don't know when last you said the current headquarters of the prison in Liberia. In my view, that headquarters as it looks is representative of the prison in Liberia. What is your thought? Because what are you planning if you are elected president or the vice president or president? Like, what's the issue about the headquarters? Will still in a place in that building? That's
Okay.
my question, sir.
Thank you. He would address that later. Whether when he wins the election, whether President will still remain on place or he has mind taking them to Congo or maybe Partnersville or wherever. Well, he will address that later on. 077090797 and call and I would say ask Julia whatever question. Hello. Hello, your name and where you call from?
My name is Julia and I call from Single 4th Street to be specific.
You say your name?
Ramsey S.T. Wheeler.
Okay, Ramsey, let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm listening to Julia in studio. He spoke brilliantly, but the first caller that called it, the caller raised some, issues are affecting the journalists. There are a lot of things the journalists of Liberia, more especially in the country. You don't know what I'm talking about. A lot of media or institutions, journalists working with us. I'm from Bitz or one of that. I work at one media institution for 3 years.
Oh, you are a journalist?
Of course, I work with Liberia News Station.
Okay, Lena.
I used to work with independent newspaper before, and I work with online newspaper before, and others. I work with one of those institutions, and I've got able to get 150 assistants within 3 years. So there are a lot of issues that journalists are facing. Even though everybody wants to take power, unions say we don't want to do the right thing. And I pray that if each union take over, BUL will be, will be better, will be compared to our counterpart. Because if you go in other countries and Ghana, if you reach Sophia, they are president headquarters of Nigeria, you say yes. But see where we are on clear street, we're only fighting to take power and to get our own benefits. We are not thinking to better our youth. So, Mr. Kama, I really want to know if you take over the union. What are those things you are putting to put some of those issues that are affecting our president?
He talked about it. Just like you joined us so late, he talked about it. We got too many things. But thank you ever so much. We talked about the salary thing and stuff and things. He will work on it. Like he talked about media owners, to have a policy crafted media owners will go into an agreement to have a certain benchmark of journalists being paid. But he will address that anyway. He has very good ideas on responding to that. But he talk about accountability, impartial leadership. He talks about the headquarters. He talks about women. I think women involvement into the media practice. He talk about sustainable and the formation of the PBL anyway. 0770-907-907. The cash giveaway is also on. Keep your entry down. Star 799 hash. Okay, and select number 8 for the Liberia. Play with future labor and win yourself 5,000 Liberian dollars. So if not, then let me see because I got 2 minutes things to talk before 6 o'clock. So, Mr. Kanoba, I'll get back to you and respond to the few callers that you call the other day.
Well, thank you very much to all of the callers, from Robert in Robert to James, Bobby Allison, Big Brother, David Tagbe, or veteran, and Rancid TV. Let me just address the question about David Tagbe and the construction of the headquarters. Well, he's very prescient in terms of his analysis of the current condition of the headquarters of the President of Liberia. I was last there on the 12th of July during the mass membership meeting, and he was asking when last I was there. I know it's a rhetorical question to see whether I know the state condition of the PEL. PEL headquarters is in an appalling state, to use a good word in terms of description. So, David, yes, headquarters construction is a central pillar of our agenda, the PUL. We believe that collectively we can be able to work together as a media, journalism, and communication community to address the headquarters issue. The Clay Street headquarters is not ours. It's a headquarters that is a rented facility. And from our understanding, the union is in debt between 6 to 10,000 US dollars as a result of the crisis.
For the facility?
For the facility, it could be around 6,000. I could be wrong in the figure, but the union is in debt. Because the last time in June 20, on June the 20, on June the 20, 2022, when we attended the mediation efforts by our international partners, it was revealed that the union was in debt around 3,000. Between 2023 up to now, it could have gone up to 6,000 US dollars. I mean, the guys who were, acting that they were acting, come now and tell us how much, like you said, they left in debt. I mean, their liabilities, right? But the construction of the headquarters is critical. The union has got a land as per our understanding, and that land has been in dispute, whether it is still owned person or not. I mean, something all of us will have to investigate. And that is why any incoming administration will have to ensure that we conduct a forensic audit of outgoing administration in terms of knowing the assets and abilities of the union. And that is critical. So the headquarters, we intend to construct the headquarters. It's a central pillar of ours. And many different people who are supporting us are very clear that they are supporting us, one, to have the headquarters constructed. Because David is aware, he was a senior journalist at the time, that he's senior now. President Sirleaf gave the President of Liberia 100,000 United States dollars towards the headquarters project. That money does not exist in 2024 because of a dispute again as to the implementation of contractual arrangement between the PUL and the contractual in terms of the 100,000.
So you ordered for the 100,000?
No, the 100,000 was in court. And it spent years in court. The Coffee administration took over. The Coffee administration took over and they withdrew the matter from the court in the name of reconciliation to ensure the union moves forward. So our administration promised, we've made a promise that headquarters will be constructed under our administration. We have a small plan, David, to ensure that the headquarters is established or is constructed. We will establish a special resource mobilization and project implementation committee of credible media, government, society actors to mobilize the necessary resources to have the headquarters project constructed. We establish an escrow account to which only resources that are given to the union are placed in that particular account for the headquarters project. The issue of Ramsey, yes, I agree with you 100%. The union has been down. The issue of you working for 3 years, 150 US dollars, so it means 150 divided by 3, so $50 per year. 50 by 12 months, I mean, you are taking a minimum amount, insignificant amount. So we intend, like I said, to work to ensure that we discuss the issue of the salary, the service of condition of journalists in our country. Bobby Addison, yes, I know you are a respectable journalist within our country. The issue of journalism has been a fame position. People popular. We have to work to ensure that the security of employment, the security and welfare of journalists are taken care of. The issue of hunger, yes, I like the point that you raised. We have now to move the UN forward. Yes, with that, if I got the name correctly, journalists and some journalists are making, I mean, too far below the minimum wage. We need now to discuss these issues. And like we said, we want to make the issue of journalists in the salary a public discussion, a public conversation, so that all of us can be able to find solutions. Because without us discussing, the thing can never ever improve by itself. That is why it will be critical that we work with all of the actors in society to ensure that we have these issues discussed and that solutions are taken. We don't believe in just sitting. When I up, put myself in this particular process, the team that came around me said, Julius, we want to work with you to ensure that we implement certain reforms and development programs at the PUL for the benefits of journalists and journalism in our country. So, like we promised, the headquarters project, we are estimating if all goes well, we can raise between 50 to 100,000 United States dollars within a year. Sure, we start the headquarters project. And the other agenda that we have is the formation of media hubs in the counties. Our colleagues in the counties, they deserve the protection of journalism. They also deserve to benefit from the PUL. So what we intend to do, we'll establish and activate one media subchapter in every county to ensure our colleagues, they form part of the leadership. They will be able to appoint or elect or select their own leadership like we have nationally with the PUL. So that if anything happens, for example, in Lofa, in Maryland, in Grand Chipon, in Kujide, our colleagues who are journalists in the counties can be able to investigate, can be able to raise the funds so that they can be able to help the government and media within their counties. The issue of media development, like I said, is critical. The capacity building of journalists, that will have to be tackled. Looking for fellowship opportunities. I mean, David, for example, he's one of the best, journalists within our country. And he has now to take to the PUL in terms of capacity strengthening, capacity development. And we also intend to look for opportunities for journalists to go abroad, and scholarship opportunities to study. Because the press union, like we normally say, is a capacity building institution. If you don't have the capacity, you can serve in the media. The media is an intellectual community. So we need now to work to improve journalism in Liberia. We intend to work with the Information Ministry, other actors, the Liberia Telecommunications Authority, to ensure we govern the media landscape and to improve working conditions of journalists in our country. We don't intend to take these things lightly. Those who know us, they know we don't joke.
Thank you.
That is why we pursue this particular legal case to ensure that sanity is restored to the PUL, the integrity of the institution is protected. And God's willing, once we have the mandate in the membership, we will serve in the interests of the union. We will not let anyone down.
Thank you ever so much, Julius Kamba, for spending of the time and for placing the trust and confidence that hope the people will place in you as a leader. Thank you for sparking up.
My pleasure again, and again, our sympathy to our colleague, like Bobby Addison, senior journalist said, serve some for the media, and TV also reflected on the particular point. We hope we can work to better the service of condition of journalists in our country, so that whenever somebody falls ill, the person has got access to healthcare, health services, and that journalists will go happy, and their children be happy going to school.
Oh, great. Julius Kamba, presidential candidate of the Press Union of Liberia. All journalists vote for the election on August 24th at the Samuel Kando Sports Complex and to elect a new breed of leadership to steer the affairs of their union for the next 2 years. Thank you ever so much, Julius Kamba. bit and pieces. We've been here. Hope we will be here again, God willing, on tomorrow. I've been Julius Kanuba. My name is Edwin Milton Juan. Thanks for passing up the time.